Welcome to the D-Line.
Illegal contact, number 51, Senkutsu elbow thrust to the up back, Oimawatsu roundhouse lunge kick to the quarterback, Takatami insword block to the, shoot, never mind, 15 yards, first down.
Live football podcast on the Disruption Network.
You just got the feeling that he spelled the 8-hole and then got it in the end zone.
You find out life's this game of inches. So is football.
And now, here's your hosts, Chicken, Caleb, and Sil.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the D-Line.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm back. I'm
Thanks,
back.
Todd, for the assist right there, buddy.
What do you do?
I forgot to hit the camera over.
Here we are.
Now we can see your lovely faces.
We got Z here for rim shots.
G's here for rim jobs.
You can see him right over. You can see him right over Sil's ear.
There we go.
Gentlemen, I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back, buddy.
I'm back. I missed you guys last week. I got caught up in Boston, the shitty city of Boston, and but I'm back. And
Good corn chowder.
not bad.
The
But like
lobsters-
you know what I'm sick
the
of though.
market, you know?
It's like you think of Massachusetts and you're like, oh, Dunkin' Donuts everywhere. No, it's gone. Like where my whatever we want to call the girl that I hang out with a lot of times, where she lives. We don't know what our title is either. Where she lives, it's all like these fucking hipster coffee shops and stuff. It's like, no.
By girly means dude.
Yeah, well,
I like this. We should do this every week.
She,
I think you'd be tired out with all the rim jobs here.
we got UC back. That's why everything's going nuts. We got UC back. Oh, fuck.
I had to pick it's BYOB night at the D.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm so happy to be back in Utica, where you go to one coffee place. You know what I mean? You go to you got your Dunkin'. You just in Boston, it's like, oh, would you like a shot of espresso for $8? No, I don't want a shot of espresso. I want a fucking coffee and move on. All right, go away. But that's my gripe about Boston. But I'm back.
That's your only gripe about Boston?
I've got some others, but we only have 2 hours here tonight, boys.
That's true.
All right.
I could fucking make.
Speaking about Boston,
30
Oh,
how about
man.
your the Eagles, man?
I know, man. What a night that was. Huh? I hope everyone enjoyed our drunkenly intermittent Facebook Eagles scoring a touchdown videos. Like
Those were
like I love you guys. Like you. I love you guys. Like you guys would deliver like a good one. Like it would be like I could tell like it was Mike. Like okay, so like let's do this. Like here we
Exactly how
go.
it
Here
was,
we
too.
go. Like
yeah, it was.
here we go. Like this is like you'll talking like still like crushed it like when he was talking and everything. And then
Damn
like
near scripted.
and then all of like I'm over there like go Eagles. Like we're singing the Eagles fight song in every video I think we put up. We made it a point to do it for every touchdown and like what the fuck I don't know. Man.
And it was
But
a high-scoring
awesome.
game, too.
Yeah, it was awesome. No, I mean
yeah.
it was cool. But what is that? What is that game? That game just speaks to momentum.
That game was an awesome game, man.
Well, it was a great Super Bowl. I
And,
really
and,
enjoyed
and
that
you're
Super
right
Bowl.
with the momentum. Like every time you thought New England was going to get back in it, the Eagles came back and they fought their way back,
Every
and they didn't
time.
let themselves get bullied.
Every time.
And I thought that was huge.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of the Eagle or what New England did against St. Louis back in the day. When
Okay.
they went against the Rams.
Yep, his first
and
one, yeah.
Everyone's like, man, they're not going to be able to keep up with the Rams, and then they were able to throw punch for punch.
Yeah.
You
I mean
know?
that was I thought I was just so I was like thrilled. I mean we were hammered by the first, like I told you guys. you put up this, again, a nice video of your spread like we had planned on doing, and we're like all of us had gotten so drunk early in the day that we were like looking at the table and we're like, yeah. Like, oh, everything's gone.
There's like
Dude,
3 Doritos.
what did you have that was gone before the game started?
We got wings from the from Tom Cavallo's.
Oh, good wings.
From
Good place
Tom
for
Cavallo's, all right, and I think we got like over 100 wings. You have to remember, I was like my 2 buddies that are college football, like they were college football linemen who'd eat anything. Like I went into my room, like where I have like some snacks in my room, like in a drawer, like like just like shit you don't want your roommate to get to. And they'd gone through that shit. I'm like, how did you find this? Like this is like in my like underneath my like sheets.
Edible
you know?
jellies and
Yeah.
The meatloaf!
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like how did you guys find all this food? So, But
we fatten it up, man.
Dude,
when
you
we go
guys-
Super Bowl, we go fat.
I feel like it might be because you guys are like, I hate to say it, you're veteran to me. You're
Oh,
you're a little
yeah,
bit my
dude.
veteran. You guys have done this. Like
I don't even know what.
For,
Maybe years ago.
it started at my house that
Right.
one year, and then the lasagna meatball sandwich creation
Right.
that Rocco was eating. And this kid, dude, he's like your friend Cody size, small kid.
yeah.
And this dude can eat, man. Like I'm watching this kid just pile down food, and I'm like, like a machine, constantly nonstop. I'm like, holy crap! So then you got to try eating them, and you ain't doing
no
it.
shot.
I actually, in the middle of fucking the first Super Bowl party, I got up and I was walking out of the house. Like, where the fuck are you going? I gotta go for a fucking walk. I walked around the block to try and walk off.
If I
some of
didn't
that
know
You had
him-
that feeling where like the food was like almost stuck in your throat.
If
Like,
I
it was just
didn't-
you ate so much.
If I didn't know him the way I know him, right, I would have sworn he was having one of those stoner brain fart moments. Where you walk in a room, you're like, I was gonna do something. What was I gonna do? And like,
I had to go for a walk.
I'm very fluent in that language. You know what I mean? Excuse me, but I'm like, dude, he doesn't smoke. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And he wasn't drinking. And he's like, I just gotta go for a walk. And he just like
gotta
takes
go,
off.
man.
He was like
so
in
much.
such a food coma.
That's so awesome.
He might have had a contact high at the time too. Who knows?
Yeah. So this year the big thing was it pulled pork, meatball, mac and cheese sandwiches.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's fucking good.
Did you guys then try to play after that? Who could get highest?
No.
Like, who can add the best thing? Are we adding peanut butter to this yet?
Yeah,
Has
right,
anybody
like-
put peanut butter or
Well,
chocolate frosting on top?
I had the ice cream bar. I brought in 2 tubs of ice cream, and I grabbed every chocolate syrup, strawberry. What was there? Caramel. Then we had these crunched up granola shit. Man, it had candy in there and stuff. It was great. Uh-oh. What'd you do to me?
Well, I'm hearing echo.
I hear myself. It's in my head.
Don't have any of your comments up.
That's me.
I was following along here. Oh, gotcha.
The other thing for the Super Bowl too, what I say is you guys probably had a nice some nice ice crushed up in a nice pal or something for your drinks. We had the fucking ice on the front porch.
No, Greg's got a fridge around the corner.
Yeah,
See, Greg's got an awesome basement with a bar
good
and
setup.
a huge
Yeah.
big room to sit and watch. And around the corner is a fridge. So
fridge.
we just put beer and iced tea and sodas in there.
See, I'm 20. I'm 26, so we just leave the ice on the front porch.
And they were looking to do
and fucking
shots.
banging on the porch and shit.
They were looking to do shots, and there was a half a shot in a Jameson bottle, and there was no liquor around whatsoever. So
See, that's what got us liquor, man. So, but man, it was a good result. I'll tell you, I was happy. I was
such
happy
a great
on
game.
it. Nick Foles, man, that's the question. I think we're gonna have to dig into that a little bit tonight, boys. What happens with Nick Foles?
they're keeping him.
Yeah, he stays. I think he
You
stays.
think so?
I think he has to.
He has to, just because Wentz isn't a guarantee.
You don't know.
to be
that's
there.
a good point.
Yeah,
That's a
but
good point.
what's Philly. I used to hate Philly, but lately,
Still do.
But lately, as an organization, they've shown that they're doing a lot of really good things.
Oh yeah.
Just offer what they did for Alshon Jeffrey, give him that payment. Sign him for 5 years. That's what he wanted.
They've spent the third most money on players in the last 5 years.
Right. So they
I mean,
might also say, the kid wants to go out and be a starter somewhere. I think they give him that opportunity, but I think they wait till after the draft or maybe even first couple weeks of the season, like they did with Bradford.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's a good point too. Maybe you go to training camp and see, but I think also too where he might fetch you something is to do. Now stick with me on this. Is maybe you can have him.
We're gone.
So you've got the trade deadline. The trade deadline is now week 8 instead of week 6 in the NFL. So maybe you got a team that's going to have the same thing that might happen to the Eagles.
Oh yeah. Oh, trade
We're in contention.
Trade deadline transaction.
Yeah.
Definitely up at that's
It gives
possible.
you an idea to see Carson Wentz get
because
back.
exactly
You
right.
know?
That's possible. I'm not
Yeah,
denying that.
Sure, that's
but-
what I'm thinking. Because
but Foles is there game 1.
a team, yeah, I think he is there too. Because a team's gonna say, well, I'm not gonna go out and get Nick Foles, but hey, you know what? If I'm Seattle and I'm still in contention and Russell Wilson blows out, in week 6, well, I gotta call. If I'm the Eagles, I'm smiling happy because they're gonna call me and they're gonna say, we want Nick Foles, and I'm gonna say, well, it's gonna cost you at least a 2nd-round pick.
But here's a good place for him.
Because you're stuck in that spot. You're just stuck in this tough spot.
Can you keep doing that?
I think Arizona makes a play for him.
They could. That's
Arizona.
another
I mean,
option.
Arizona has 0 quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
So if they pick him up, I mean, he instantly becomes a starter and a backup.
If I'm Arizona, if I'm Arizona, I'm bigger. I'm a bigger fan of him than I am Sam Bradford
or Casey.
Yeah, well, I think he stays in Minnesota. I think he's
Casey.
gonna stay.
Yeah, I think you almost have to right now with the 2 unsures there you got there going. But I think if they deal him out to Arizona to see who Arizona gets in like the draft or whatever. They might even do a draft day offer if somebody wants to pony up some good draft picks or some players with that.
I think it's gonna have to blow. If I'm the Eagles, it's gonna have to blow them away at that point in the year. I think it's gonna be something where I think you might be right. And that's exactly the Sam Bradford move too. They sat on Sam Bradford long enough into training camp,
but not necessarily. Doesn't necessarily have to be, like a real great offer. If he walks after next year, right?
Yeah.
So they get nothing for him.
Yeah.
So get something for him now. Maybe they get another veteran, backup quarterback or draft picks or something like that.
I'm just like, if you're going for a repeat of the title, the smart move is fucking keep him close to your vest, keep him on your squad, just in case.
And I also want to be I want to be sure about Carson Wentz. I mean an ACL is fairly routine nowadays.
Right.
We'd have to agree in sports.
It's the LCL.
It's not
in the realm of injuries. I mean, that's the one that they kind of. It's almost like in baseball, Tommy John. Like it's just a thing that happens nowadays. Like people just do it. They're done. It's a 8 to 12 month rehab.
Right.
And you're
yeah.
back.
Usually 10 months. Right. Yeah.
So.
But it's the LCL that is adding the extra time.
Sure.
Well, you look at Adrian Peterson came back the year after having his ACL repaired, and he came back and got 2,000 yards.
Sure.
Right.
You know, so it's not the injury of doom anymore.
Yeah.
But
so Adrian Peterson to the Giants? Is that what I'm seeing? I'm hearing.
You think so? It's not a bad choice.
I hear. He's got a history with Shermer. So
he does from Minnesota.
It's a possibility. Giants.
I don't know if
laying
he's got
that out
much
there
left in the tank, man.
Oh, he does. I think he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
Under
too,
a right
but
system and like not as the every down back. He has to be the complementary back.
Yeah.
In whatever he does.
He's not going to carry their load anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right, chicken?
Yeah.
But
bada boom. Yeah. And not to get. I'm sorry. I want to go back to the Super Bowl quick, guys, because of the parade. The parade. All right.
Oh, there was a parade?
Jason Kelsey's
Was he there?
speech, man. Kelsey's speech at the parade. Did you guys see that?
I saw pictures. I didn't actually. I read an article.
The stuff he said. I was like, he's another guy I'm ready to run through a wall.
Chris Collinsworth.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, Greg just said, "What's up, slap nuts?"
Yeah.
So, hey, Greg, we're talking about the Super Bowl. I don't know if you caught it.
Yeah. Did you guys see all those Valentine's Day cards yesterday?
I've got them up here. My fucking favorite is definitely "I'll drop everything to be with you," and it's a picture of Tom Brady missing that pass. That is by far my favorite.
Oh, those are great. Oh man.
And the Chris Collinsworth one.
Greg, I tried to do everything I could to get back last week. My flight got canceled, but I mean, it's a tough loss. Sorry about the 5 or 6 you've already won, but the Eagles finally had their day in the sun. So, yep. There it is.
Jesus.
Listen, Greg. Listen to it. Take it in. Two, three. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me every time the Eagles score a touchdown singing this again? It's just like reliving bad memories for you guys.
This is great.
I was there for the entertainment and the food. That was it. I had no vested interest. In fact,
Eagles.
As I said last week when we did the review, at the end, at the fourth quarter, when Chicken interviewed us again, I said the Eagles got this. They had it right where they wanted it. I felt.
I said it they didn't let Belichick intimidate. I'm going for 4th down. You have you're throwing to your backup quarterback on 4th down in the Super Bowl against Bill Belichick.
That's what game-winning coaches
balls.
Have you guys seen
balls.
that video? Have you guys seen the video of him and Foles talking about it?
No.
Peterson was mic'd up for the game, and they go over to the sidelines, and Foles comes over and he says, "We're going for a Philly special," and he looks at it, and he kind of looks at him like this, like just to the side, and he goes, Peterson looks back at his play sheet and goes, "Philly special, let's do it." And he sent him back on the field, and I was like, man, when I watched that video, I was about ready to run through a wall too. I was like, man, I would make that catch too if I was.
Oh, hell yeah. They said he didn't drop one in practice every time they practiced it.
Like Peterson looked at him and he's like, wow, that's a fucking hell of an idea. And they ran it out, man. Whew, what a game!
I was shocked. I'm like, are you serious? Take the points. Take the points. And then when they dropped that, I was just like, Oh my god!
I looked at Cody. And I said, they got to take the points.
That's some balls right there, man.
Fucking points. You got to take the points, and they. Sure, who cares? Fuck it.
Don't care.
Dude, that's what I love. He didn't blink an eye. He did not show any kind of intimidation, any kind of fear. He went out there and just called these gutsy plays.
I'm telling you, 1 to 6, 1 to 8, 1 to 6 in baseball and 1 to 8 in hockey. When you get to the playoffs, and you have momentum, it's insane. What's up, Tugger? How are you? Good, man. They're back there. But they it's about momentum, dude. Think about it. They just were so they were hot.
3 times. It didn't work.
They were hot. They were ready to
up.
go, and they it was insane. You couldn't beat the Eagles in the playoffs. You couldn't do it. It was just they had so much momentum. I saw it. I saw it in that.
They just seemed to
game.
get better and better each week.
And that's just the and I've preached this about the Eagles all season. Just how loose they play. It's not a cocky loose. It's not an arrogant loose.
Oh, no. They were confident. They weren't Giants of 2000 against the Ravens, all bright-eyed and fucking deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
No, these guys went in there and they were prepared.
Yeah.
And it's probably from having the veterans on the team. Like
Sure.
And that's a testament to this coaching staff.
Oh, yeah. Which
It's a
is now
build-
getting ripped the fuck up.
Apart.
I love it.
Frank Reich by. Frank Reich by.
Well, they only lost-
by.
Yeah.
Frank Reich and their quarterback coach, right?
Yeah.
That's the only 2 that they lost, right?
Right, but that's their
big.
offense.
But Deuce Staley, they guess they're going to take over, and I think he'll probably be doing.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's what they assume is going to happen. It's not definite yet.
I mean, it's going to be a disciple of Pedersen. I mean, he's the offensive catalyst there. A lot of the
Right.
and I give him credit. The offense doesn't run through him. He is a former OC. The offensive doesn't run through him. It ran through Frank Reich, and I think he gives his guys the opportunity to run the offense. But at the same time, I mean, that's it's still going to have his markings on it. Right. It's still going to be his style.
I just me hating the Eagles, I saw that. I'm like, great, because we were talking that they were going to be left intact, and that was pissing me off. Any other fucking team wins the Super Bowl, they get tore up. They just like fucking piranha on a fucking.
So
piece
how
of
do you
meat.
feel about this?
If Bob Kraft doesn't promise Josh McDaniels the next head coaching job in New England,
right?
Then
gone.
he's still in Philly.
Yeah.
But I kind of almost feel like this is a blessing in disguise for Indianapolis. I think Josh, what's his name? McDaniels. Yeah, I think
he's a bad head coach.
I think he's fool's gold.
Yeah.
I think he went to Denver, didn't succeed, and Belichick didn't too when he was over at the Browns.
Sure.
But nobody succeeds there.
Weird.
Yeah.
But
Just have a way of losing.
I just don't think he's that good. I think it's more Belichick. If I hadn't already seen so many of Belichick's disciples go and fail,
Right?
Charlie Weiss. Romeo
you can even
Cornell.
put McDaniels on that list. McDaniels went and failed.
Exactly.
He did fail.
And again, it's more of a testament to how great Belichick really is.
Sure. Matt Patricia will he set a new tone?
No.
For
I think he's average. I think that defense
I
didn't
don't argue with you.
That defense didn't really show me much, especially from even New England defense.
They had a good scheme. But
that's
they had no stats.
How much of that was from Belichick as well?
Right.
Once you remove Belichick out of that equation, because maybe Matt Patricia did call a lot of those plays and maybe did a lot of that, but he always had the guidance of Belichick.
Yeah,
Belichick had a hand in it because he's not going to not have a hand
been
in
a D coordinator since the 80s minimum that I know of.
I think Patricia might have some success. I don't think he's good. I'm not talking win a Super Bowl. I'm not talking he's good. I think he's going to last longer than 3 years. 3 years is about the testament for a coach now if he works or doesn't. So I think he lasts longer than 3 years. I don't think Paul Pasqualoni lasts as the D coordinator long because he was named that. All right, just to give you.
I love it because that gives us a chance.
Oh yeah, right. Great. There's going to be holes in the Detroit defense.
Right?
I think Patricia is that. I think he's kind of that rugged, that players coach type guy.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's either really taken on by guys, like really like, ooh, yeah, that's awesome, or it's like, get the fuck away.
He is. He's going to be a players coach. Regardless of how he does. The players are going to not want to see him go. Let's say he gets fired in 3 years.
See, but I like the hiring that Frank Reich over McDaniels. Frank Reich he backed up a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's been to 5 Super Bowls now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you think he went up to Jim Kelly and was like, "Hey, you want to see my ring?"
Eh.
But
No
you know what
shit.
I'm saying? Like he's been around that winning environment. You know, like
He knows
worked
how to
with-
win. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and like he's worked with Carson Wentz, so now maybe you get luck back. But if not,
Yeah.
maybe you get somebody who knows how to groom a good quarterback. We've seen what he did with Foles, getting him ready for the Super Bowl, for crying out loud.
Sure.
You mean to tell me if he takes a Jacoby Brissett, who I think has a lot of talent. Jacoby Brissett he can run. He's got a good arm. It's between his ears. He came into the on that team
Late, yeah. So
beginning of the season, right? Like
Right.
2 weeks in or something like that.
You give him a full off season to work with that
Right.
team. Brissett will be just fine.
I think Andrew Luck's going to come back strong.
You think so?
I think he is.
They said he hasn't even picked up a football yet.
I think he's going to come back strong.
Which I think
I
might-
have faith in him. I
maybe
don't know.
it's all
I like
bullshit.
it.
Is
I don't know.
Brissett still under contract? Anybody?
Yes, he's still there.
Oh,
He is
okay.
still with them.
So yeah. No,
I mean, he's better than
I
what's
guess
his
it
name,
doesn't
Payne
matter.
or whatever.
It's going to be great.
I mean, I'll
great
be honest with you.
competition.
I'm not fucking worried. To be honest with you, if it is Brissett, I mean, I do think it's a downgrade over Luck. Whatever that being said, but like, if you're the Colts, man, you got so many other fucking holes. That's like
They got to fix that
we're-
O line. Holy
and that defense.
shit.
The defense is terrible too. I'm like, let's not worry who's going to take the step under center. We've got two decent options here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, get somebody that can play middle linebacker. You know, like,
Right.
get somebody that can play cornerback. Get somebody who can protect that guy who's going to play quarterback.
I'd be interested to see who he picks up as a D coordinator.
Yeah,
You know.
give me a young.
They had a D coordinator. The linebackers coach from Dallas already signed.
Oh yeah, they did. They had to keep the. They
Yeah.
had to keep the coaching staff. Yeah, so he's
Are
got to
you
keep
for real?
him.
Like he had to keep.
They
McDaniel's
offered.
coaching
they-
staff?
No,
they signed him.
offered him. It wasn't. It was sometimes coordinator picks don't come from the head coach. Sometimes they're passed down from the front office. And Jim Irsay, the owner there, is more of a hands-on guy, so he passed down. You know, they were building McDaniel's staff, and they like this guy as a D coordinator. He signed there, so yeah, I forgot about that. Still, that's right.
Yeah.
Which is honestly, at this point, might be a small blessing in disguise because
He's
not a lot of options.
He's a good disciple from Cowboys D coordinator.
Wade Phillips.
Oh,
No.
Marinelli.
Marinelli.
Marinelli?
Rod Marinelli is a great defensive coordinator.
really is. He's
so
great.
to you
Sure.
know be under him for a couple of years,
yeah.
you should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody tried convincing Bruce Arians to come back.
Yeah, I just I
Give him a
think,
year off.
I think
a
Bruce
breath.
Arians just really wants to kind of just be done. I think he's retired. I mean, he was an offensive coordinator for forever. He had his head coaching gig.
I don't think he's done forever.
You don't think so? He'll get the
no.
itch. You think he'll get the itch
Yeah,
again?
I think he'll get the itch.
I got the itch right now.
Maybe.
They got ointment for that.
You know,
Caleb, let him borrow some of yours.
Oh man. Oh fuck.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those nights. We should start drinking more.
Oh, speaking of which, the poor bartender that took your place.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
about this.
Yeah,
What happened?
I had to tell her, I'm like, listen, just so you know, I'm bad luck. I'm cursed. And then, we end up having a fight
A
outside.
fight, of course, yeah. A brawl ensues.
Yeah.
Of course it did, Mike. I mean, I can't say I miss it. Can't say I miss it. All right.
It was outside for the most part. And,
What did you move them outside after it started in the bar? Like,
This kid kind of got in my face a little, and I freaking yoked him up by his shirt and was like, "Don't you ever put your fucking like."
was that
Dude.
Cane Boy? Remember Cane Boy?
No, it was this different dude. Yeah, I was
man.
like livid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she got to know, feel the curse.
She got to learn.
Nice.
She got
Yeah,
learned.
she's like, "Oh damn, he really is cursed."
Fuck.
So wherever you're working next, I'll come join you.
No thanks. I won't tell you that. That'll be private information. Private information. So what do we got? What else do we have in football this week? I mean, we're hitting free agency here coming up. We had the
you got Kirk Cousins is gonna
Yeah,
may
I
file
don't-
a grievance if he's
Kirk
tagged.
Cousins is going to be a Jet, man.
Why would you tag him? I don't understand where they're going with this. I guess in fact
It's
you
to
keep
fuck him. It's to fuck him. That's the only
It's
so
reason.
you could trade him and do what you want with him.
It's bad. They have a lot of bad blood there.
Then you let him go. Are you doing it?
Well, no, they're fucking themselves more because he doesn't have. I read all this today. He doesn't have to sign the contract.
Yeah.
He can drag that out for months.
Just hold out.
And they have to eat as long as he delays it. They have to eat the money and get nothing for him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not
Stupid.
It's
When does his
$34 fucking million they got to eat.
When does he become a free agent?
Well, he's technically
March 14th.
So they probably want to tag him to get through to.
And I got the window right
draft.
here. Hang on. When
So
do they got to tag people? Oh, Christ.
Tags like the 28th.
They probably want to grab him, tag him, so they got him. They could deal him
Right.
out to somebody
Yeah,
and get
but-
something for him instead of having him just walk.
Well, but if you knowing that, like knowing the story that Sill just got, there's
March
like
6th, they got to
Sill,
start tagging people.
Sill got that information. He did his little bit of research. You don't think there's NFL teams that know the exact same thing that he does, that he's not going to play if they do tag
Right.
him? So if you tag, go ahead and tag him, all right? Because if I'm the Jets,
It costs 2 first-round picks.
if I'm the Jets or the Broncos, it
Yeah.
would that was what it would cost to sign him. But if I'm the Jets or the Broncos, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, oh, well, he's not going to play for you, so I'll give you 1/7. Oh, you don't want that? Okay, well, he's not going to play for you. So let him fucking rust on the
Right.
sideline.
Well, if they tag him,
You
that's
know?
what it commands. I don't know if they can change that.
Well,
you
no,
know,
tagging. If they tag him, basically what happens is if they tag him, then like if you're the Jets, you can sign any tagged player, but
Right.
you have to give up those picks.
Right.
But they can, but because they tagged him, he's now a contracted player, so they can make a trade at any value that they want.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be for 2 first-round picks. But it's just like first off, and if that was the case, no team's giving 2 first-round picks.
Yeah,
for Kirk
no
Cousins.
way.
No,
Yeah,
thank
no
you,
way.
thank
It's
you, thank you,
fucking-
thank you. Come again.
It
for,
is gross.
For a slightly younger
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford. No,
yeah,
thank you.
Exactly.
That's really
You
what
know,
he is
I
to
mean,
me.
Kirk Cousins.
Who's good, but not great.
I feel like Kirk Cousins is another team, or Washington was just another team I didn't watch enough to really appreciate Kirk Cousins.
I watched him a few
But-
times, and I think he's good, and he's
Yeah.
mobile, and he's got a great arm.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a whole lot of weapons around him, but putting a good bunch of weapons around him with a good coach, I think he's this year's Alex Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't wow me,
Yeah.
but he's
Get the job done.
yes. Like
Yes.
he could go, AFC NFC championship.
He's gonna
game.
go to
I don't
10
know if
and
he's a Super Bowl
He's
winner.
gonna go 10-6. We're gonna if he's on a good team, he's gonna go 10-6. We're gonna play in the wild card game. We're gonna maybe get lucky and win that. We'll go to the divisional round game. We'll probably take a close loss and we'll be good with it. That's what he is.
Oh,
That's the type of team he plays for.
Gaffney's checking. He goes, "There's actually beer there this week." Yeah,
I
we were a little low on. The
I
beer
had to
last
pick
week.
it up too.
Yeah, you did too. And Dave Banich is saying that was a magical moment. I think he was talking about when I grabbed the kid by his shirt and yoked him.
Shout out to Gaffney too for filling in for me last week.
Yes,
much
thanks,
love, Gaff.
brother.
Much love there. Thank you. Sitting in the spot here.
Dave was supposed to join us tonight, but he is not feeling
He's
well.
fallen
so
ill.
Get
He's
right-
got the
get well,
Utica
buddy.
Club cold. He's hungover. Probably had a tough go of it last night.
Oh yeah, probably. He probably.
I ate it all anyway, got sick to my tummy, puked, pooped, jerked off, and now I'm here with you bros.
From home.
From home.
From home. Fuck.
Yeah, it's this offseason, I don't understand like what they're thinking with Cousins. There seems almost like a stockpile of quarterbacks out there, and then there's other teams who are like hungry for quarterbacks. Like you said, Arizona has 0 quarterbacks on their roster right now.
The New York Jets.
The Jets. I mean,
You know,
I say you sign
The Bills are looking
McCown.
to get rid of
Tyrod.
Tyrod,
Yeah.
which I still think is retarded. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know, he's a great quarterback. He's young still.
They've
I
got
understand what you're thinking.
They've got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds.
Put some weapons around him.
You know, they could they might be able to trade up to maybe sneak into the top 10, but I doubt they're going to get 1 and 2.
The only here's the issue with Tyrod. He the city of Buffalo has turned their back on him. My buddy was in town. I asked him about this when he was in town 2 weekends ago for the Super Bowl, and he said to me, he's like, he's done.
You know what?
He can't. And I know it sounds crazy, like, oh, you don't
Give
you know,
them
you play
Mike
for the team.
Give them Mike Glennon,
Sure.
and they would be praising.
Sure, Mike, and you're absolutely right.
Tyrod
We know you're right, but at the same time, once
Brock
you've
Osweiler.
once you've lost that town, once you've lost the town, and once you've lost the media, and the media's turned against you, and you turn on the radio show on your way to work in Buffalo, blue
Yeah,
collar
but
town.
I feel like
they're
they
playing
do
the
that on a
radio.
weekly basis. I
I'd
feel
say-
like,
I'd
Well,
say-
that's the Buffalo way, man. That's the
I feel
Buffalo
like-
Bill way.
yeah, until you go to, when they went to the playoffs, they're ready to blow them.
Yeah, Jim Kelly's the greatest thing since sliced
know?
bread. You
Like
know,
he brought them to the playoffs first time in what was it, like 20-something years?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
17, I believe.
yeah.
whatever. It feels like longer than that. And they probably won't go for another 17 if they get rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was their offense. Him and McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And McCoy's, no spring chicken. I mean, that
Well,
guy's
let's ride that Peterman train.
Yeah, because like right after he falls off, what do you got? Benjamin, like he's always hurt. You can't really rely on him. I don't know, man. I think you got to keep Tyrod.
Yeah, but he's not. They won't. He's gone. He's gone.
Think so, huh?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And I'm seeing a lot more mock drafts too. I mean, it's going to be tough if the Bills are going to want to get a franchise quarterback. I've seen I've seen a few mock drafts. I like the mock to check them out and stuff like
they
that.
They change
but
on a daily basis.
They do.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. But I've seen some where, like, I've seen in the past few weeks, and he's starting to creep up. I've seen Baker Mayfield in the top 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would mean 4 quarterbacks would go in the top 10.
I was seeing,
that's insane.
Josh and Darnold, 1 and 2, and then,
Rosen,
Mayfield.
Yeah. Rosen and Mayfield,
yeah.
Josh
Mayfield
Allen, yeah.
Rose up to fucking 2 and knocked
unreal.
Darnold. Yeah, I know, right?
Dude, it's unbelievable. Like, Baker Mayfield was a guy, like, they were like, oh, he'll be like a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he's in the 1st round. It's like the Mason.
Well, he's got a good agent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people are really promoting him. Like,
Yeah.
that's all you hear about when you're on ESPN and all this stuff. So they're really building him up some fanfare.
So now it's looking like, maybe Lamar Jackson to Buffalo. But why would they do that when it's the same style?
And yeah, exactly.
QB.
It's the same style of quarterback, so I'm taking the experienced guy who's been in my offense. Why would I take Lamar Jackson? What's he going to benefit me for,
So do you go from a rookie right off now and starting in Buffalo, or do you get a veteran backup or starter and have the kids sit behind him? I don't know.
Case Keenum's a possibility.
And
Buffalo?
Buffalo's not going to be very high up in the draft
Sam
to pick a
Bradford?
really good quarterback.
But see, the thing Buffalo is going for is they have back-to-back first-round picks. They have 21 and 22. So that could get you up. That could get you up to, say you're talking to the Jets, who are a very position-needy team, okay? The Jets pick at 10. I mean, if your quarterback's still there, you got to see how the draft kind of shakes out to trade with a team like that. But if your quarterback's still there, then you call the Jets and you say 21 and 22 in a 2nd round next year. You good? All right, we're good. Yeah, because we're going to take 2 players. We're going to have a 2nd round pick next year. I'm good with that. I'm taking that. And the Jets move back. They get 2 players they need, and the Bills go up and get their quarterback.
Right.
And I think
the Jets pick up, JT Barrett in the fucking 3rd round or something.
Yeah, exactly.
4th round.
I'm going to be honest with you. I could see Buffalo really, really spinning the tires on a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. And bringing in a young quarterback. Maybe it's a quarterback that they don't get in the 1st round. Maybe it's a quarterback that they get in the 2nd or 3rd round, like the kid from Memphis, or like a Lamar Jackson, where they can get him later, because you're maybe not comfortable, but if you think that maybe Bridgewater gives you an upgrade, I know you guys don't like Bridgewater, but maybe he gives you an upgrade.
I don't think they let Bridgewater walk. I think they keep Bridgewater and let Bradford go.
I think they're both gone. I don't think they pay either, because Bridgewater's going to command a lot of money.
Bradford's gone. I think Keenum's gone. I think Bridgewater stays.
No, you'd have to. I would fire you right now if you did that.
That's not what I would do. I'd keep Keenum.
I would
myself.
I would fire whatever
but
coach.
It seemed, from everything we heard, they were trying hard as hell to get Bridgewater in there last year, and I still think they're going to keep. They're going to try.
Case Keenum's been way more productive than Bridgewater ever was.
Right, I agree with you.
Bridgewater never impressed me at all. Yeah. Like, everyone told me how great of a quarterback he is, and I seen him twice a year since he's been in the league, and he never impressed me. He looked average at best, and everyone kept telling me, "Oh, he's great, he's great, he's great."
Yeah.
Okay, Leftwich. Like I said, he's Byron Leftwich. Wow. Like, everyone says Byron Leftwich, how great he was going to be, and he never really turned into that great quarterback. He was a great backup. And I think he started for a couple. He could start for a few teams.
Leftwich had the heart.
Right.
He really did.
We don't know that about Bridgewater yet. No. I mean, what did he play? 2 years? But then he got hurt, and he's been out for 2 years. So you have no idea what this kid could do. You don't know what's going between his head, because you also got to think that he's got that fear of getting hurt again. We seen it with Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman was he was a when Rex Grossman first came in, he was a little bit of of a gunslinger.
The Super Bowl.
Right, he brought us to Super Bowl, but after a few injuries early in his career, he played much different. He was much shyer about running the ball. He was much, worried about getting hit. So it's in your head. You might not think, okay, physically you might be okay, but you're always worried about that hit. You're always worried about somebody coming up behind you. And I just don't know. I couldn't put my faith in that guy when you got a guy that brought you to the NFC Championship game, who knows your system.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just seems like a no-brainer.
Right.
I
know.
And Bradford, he's always hurt.
You ride that train till it dies.
So you keep Case Keenum, you keep him there. You keep Bridgewater, because he still does have that potential to get better. You know who Bradford is.
You get rid of Bradford.
He's definitely gone.
Teddy Bridgewater backs up in case something happens to Case Keenum, or he just maybe is a one-year wonder,
right?
And he falls off. You got another guy in there, but then you get to monitor and see how Teddy Bridgewater comes back from this injury.
Gaffney just posted an article I actually read earlier today. Rosen to the Bills. Now the Bills would have to give up both of their picks.
They have to go up,
and get in with, either Cleveland or the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't see either of them giving up the need. They both need, especially then again. Browns have so many holes, but
Dude, if you're the Browns,
So is your mom.
to come up to
the Browns could probably be most likely the ones to take that.
Yeah, to come up to 4. If they kind of knew how the draft was going to shake out, and you could write the picture, this is what's going to happen, and you could go up to 4, 20 and 21, and it's going to take you another pick beyond 20 and 21. To be honest with you, and a second round pick next year or a third or
2021 in either the first or the second.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, it's probably going to take that. But to go up there, if you're the Browns, to then pick at 1, 20, and 21, no doubt about it. Sign me up.
No, the Browns aren't going to pick at 1. Yeah. If they trade their number 1 pick.
No. I'm talking about trading the 4th overall pick.
That's right, the 4th.
Yeah, I'm keeping
Rosen's not going to be there at 4.
Well, but if I'm the Browns now and I have 20 and 21, I'm saying, okay, Saquon Barkley, I'll take him at 1.
No, if they've got number 1 and which they do, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They trade number 1. They still have number 4.
So you could probably
and 21 and
you
24.
get way more.
You could probably get Barkley at 4 then too. You could probably get Saquon Barkley.
Or do you
if he gets
take
back
that?
to the
I say at that point you go after a fucking running back.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, but why? The Browns already have a good running back.
Who's that?
The rookie was he rookie from last year? Second year player was it Crowell?
Yeah. Okay.
He's a free agent.
All right. Well, is Joe Thomas, coming back?
Sure,
but
that's where you address at 20 or 21.
But if you're the Browns, right, and you burned so many first round picks on quarterbacks and stuff like that in position players, because Trent Richardson, look at him. Look what happened to him.
Wide receivers aren't, as good as a class this year. Calvin Ridley's probably it, but he's not. I don't.
So why don't you trade?
He's
going that high.
Bandit said Crowell and Duke Johnson. That's right. He is a Browns fan.
Yeah, Crowell's a free agent. Duke Johnson's he's a pass catching back. He's a third down slot type receiver.
But why not use that first round to lure a good, veteran quarterback into your, into your Kirk Cousins? Why not use that for a Kirk Cousins or the 4th round?
If you're
or I'm sorry, the 4th overall pick. You could use either one of them to lure a Kirk Cousins.
If you're Kirk Cousins,
you hold out till you go free agent, right?
And you say to me, if you're Kirk Cousins and they call you and say we're trading you to Cleveland, you say you'll retire, all right? He's not there's no fucking point.
Show me the money.
They have to go young. The Browns have to go young at quarterback.
They can't trade him. They're not going to trade him. He's a free agent. So they got to tag him or let him go.
I completely disagree with the fact that they got to go young. They just went young with
Kaiser was terrible in college. He was the most overhyped player I've ever seen. They went young,
but they always seem to do that. Johnny Manziel. You know what I mean? They always seem to buy that
But it's a different regime now. It's a different.
Is
it's
it?
different. It is. It's John Dorsey. John Dorsey, who brought Alex Smith and Pat Mahomes into Kansas City.
But I'm saying, so why don't you go get a Alex Smith type quarterback that's out there?
Because you're not ready to compete yet.
It doesn't matter.
You didn't win a game last year.
You got to get somebody that can put you in there.
I feel Cleveland is closer than everybody thinks.
Yes.
I think they're going to be an entertaining team.
They had a great defense. They had a really good defense on that team.
They do have a good defense.
I was severely worried about them when we played them in Week 15.
Then we blew their doors off, but yeah.
Yeah.
But their defense was strong. And their offense, they need a leadership. They need some leadership on, at the quarterback position. You keep going young and young and young, you never have anybody to help develop these guys. You need that veteran quarterback to show him, maybe, like you said, Josh McCown go back there. But
sure.
I'd hate to say that to poor Josh McCown. I think he should stay in New York.
Josh McCown.
Dave just says the problem is Hugh Jackson. I fucking agree with you 100%. I don't think he's a good head coach. I don't. And I agree with Dave.
I don't know who you put there, though. What would be the solution?
Give him Snapper Neck. And everybody can see how much he sucks in real life.
That's what I'm saying. But I feel like Hugh Jackson's gotten a bad shake, though. He's gotten a fucking bad shake. What do you expect the guy to do? You drafted Deshaun Kaiser. Deshaun Kaiser, his own college coach, who's the biggest fucking idiot in all of college coaching. Biggest fucking idiot. Brian Kelly, biggest fucking idiot.
Yeah, but look at all the people that they missed that they could have taken.
Even said that he shouldn't go to the NFL.
They could have taken.
Oh, okay. So, perfect. Deshaun Kaiser will be our pick in the first round.
They could have Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? They could have had Mitch Trubisky. They could have had Patrick Mahomes. They know what I mean? They could have had Kamara. They could have had Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
They could have had, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
they could
easy
have
to
so many
But
players.
when you're drafting players, that's easy to say afterwards. You know, I mean, they thought that was their guy, but I mean, you could clearly tell it wasn't. You know.
And who did they pick first round? First overall pick?
Outside linebacker, D end, or whatever.
Right, you don't even remember his fucking name.
I don't remember his name.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
He turned out okay. You know that guy.
He got
He's
hurt.
like fucking mediocre as shit. Myles Garrett.
Garrett, yeah.
But it's just like I don't know. Like I believe that if you have the right personnel in there evaluating a player, which I think Cleveland does now with John Dorsey, and I think they do with Paul DePodesta, and I know Dave's gonna hates Paul DePodesta, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that might be a comment coming, boys. But if you have the right people in there evaluating talent, then maybe the ship could be righted with a good young quarterback.
Says he's a cancer. I think he's
No, he's
referring
talking
to
about Hugh Jackson. Yeah.
Del Rio.
Ooh.
I would love to see Del Rio in there, because then you'll have you already have a nucleus for a strong
Beer?
defense.
Anybody?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Actually, grab me one. Yes. They got a good defense.
No.
It could be better, but their offense sucks so bad. And the Browns always have that, just like that bad luck thing.
Yeah.
You know, so like you need somebody to come in there and change the culture in that team. And you know, like these guys are like, oh, I'm not going to play there. Well, I liked what
I don't really think anybody really just says I'm not going to play in Cleveland.
Yes, they do.
Do they really?
That's why
never heard
Garoppolo.
it,
That's why they blocked Garoppolo for going over there. That's why.
Well, that was Bill Belichick said he wouldn't do it to him.
David Carr retired, so he wouldn't go to the Browns.
Right.
But you know what? You turn that franchise around, like Baker Mayfield said. He goes, "I'll play there."
Sure.
You turn him around, you're a hero. You're a legend.
Dude,
you bring him to the
absolutely.
playoffs, you're a fucking legend. You bring him 8-8, and they'll fucking
And if
blow
you know
you
what the
everywhere
worst
you
thing,
go.
the worst thing that happens to you is you're a piece of tape. on
So
the
you're
back
telling
of
me
a
there's a
jersey.
chance I can get blown?
Yes. If you can bring the Browns at 8-8, yeah, you'll be king.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I know you tend to agree with going with more the proven route and the guy who's
I
proved
think when you got a
themselves.
broken team like that,
yeah.
like I said with the Bears are completely broken. And people forget that the Bears, when Lubby left, was it 2010? The Bears had like the number 1 or number 2 defense in the league.
No, not 2010.
When did Lubby
12.
leave? 12, whatever. So the next year, when Trestman took over, we were the number 2 offense in the league, but our defense was shit.
Terrible.
Number 32.
So, you know what I mean? Like, you need that stability. That guy that's going to come in there in that broken team, bring order. You know what I mean? Some kind of structure. These guys have no structure. You bring in another young coach, another young quarterback, you know what I mean? Where's your leadership coming from?
Yeah.
And I think that gets overlooked by talent a lot in the NFL. Everyone looks for that talent. They forget about the leadership, and you definitely need that leadership.
Yeah.
Word up.
And that's why I was pissed that they didn't give Urlacher his contract. They didn't give,
Don't
Forte.
even, that was fucking horseshit.
Because of that leadership. You know, those are the guys that people rally behind. And once Urlacher was gone, Briggs, you might as well just, he was phoning it in.
Yeah.
Because your heart and soul's gone.
Yeah.
And the players know that. You fucked the guy over, they're going to know that. But the Browns need that guy. They need that guy they can rally around.
Del Rio
who's
is
that guy? I agree. I think that would be
Del
a
Rio's that
perfect
guy.
match for him. You move out Hugh, bring in Del Rio. Even if you bring in Del Rio as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. You've got that fire there. You've
Yes.
got the start of that fire.
And you got somebody with knowledge that's been to some serious games.
I'm going back down the first time coaching route if I'm them. If I'm them, I'm going back
That's
down
all
that
they've
route.
been going. And look how it's worked out for them. Look at all the coaching changes they've had in the past
Yeah,
few
but
years.
when you hit lightning in a bottle with or not lightning in a bottle, when you make a good decision like LA.
But they've been
did
getting a
with-
fart in a can. That's all
Yeah,
they've been
but
getting.
look at what LA did. Look what Chicago just did. They brought in good coaches. They're gonna reinvigorate those teams.
But they had to
Reinvigorate
bring
those
in that military.
Injuvenate?
reinvigorate. Sorry.
They had to bring in that.
No, Juvenate would have been better.
They had to bring in that older coach to instill that.
Yeah, but you know
Different
what?
mentality.
But you know what? put LA/St. Louis brought in that older coach. I mean, he's the worst coach ever to coach professional football, and that was Jeff Fisher. But they brought in those
Tied.
old guys. Oh, he's the worst. Jeff Fisher is the worst head coach.
They fired him so he wouldn't break the record. I swear.
He went to the
Swear
Super
that-
Bowl.
Right?
Yeah, Steve McNair went to the
He's
Super
got a
Bowl.
Super Bowl ring.
Steve McNair went to the Super Bowl.
Eddie George.
And Eddie George, yeah.
And they had a great
Derek
defense.
Mason, and yeah, all those guys.
Who's the freak there?
Javon Curse.
Javon Curse.
Yeah, come on.
That guy was
Like,
a
who couldn't go
monster.
to the Super Bowl with that team?
Kills me. I remember
Keith
stupid
Bullock,
shit like that, but I can't remember the fucking audio program.
Donovan
we used.
Darian, like they had a good team then.
Yeah, they're nasty. Jeff Fisher didn't do dick. It was all his fucking coaching staff, and it was all his fucking players. Because Steve McNair was practically coaching himself.
Frank Weintraub.
That's right. They had Kevin
Weintraub.
Gilbride Sr.
Yeah.
as a fucking offensive coordinator. The guy's a fucking.
Yeah,
He's a
they
great
were
coordinator,
good.
not a good head coach, but he's a great coordinator.
Stupid. They were so good, so good. But that's what teams are doing now. They're going for these younger guys, and they tend to pan out more times than not because Sean McVay out in L.A. Who wouldn't want to play for that guy? He can relate to you. He's not this old fucking crotchety Romeo Crennel looking over his little glasses at his playbook and doesn't give a fuck about you. No, we're done with that.
He's so old they were called spectacles.
Yeah, why would you hire Romeo Crennel? He's a fucking idiot. Okay, well, there's Cleveland. Well, check one. Why would you hire Hugh Jackson? He wasn't that successful in Cincinnati as the OC. He was just okay. He could never get past the first round of the playoffs. Well, there's a terrible hire. Hire a fucking young guy.
Don't forget about Eric Mangini. Oh, sorry about that.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Man genius.
Yeah, the man genius. Like why?
Wasn't he a Belichick disciple, or was he?
He was the OC there. Yeah.
So there's another.
And then he
one.
went to New York. He got hired in New York, and then he went to Cleveland.
And I never understood why they just gave this guy the genius title. Oh, this guy Mangini, and like he never did shit. Like everywhere he went, he just flopped. Dave's checking in. He wrote a little bit of a novel, but says they were doing a rebuild. They were doing the rebuild they needed to do. Sashi was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. He got fired. Jackson, meanwhile, didn't develop a quarterback. Didn't develop any other position on offense where he was a guru. He went 1-31 in 2 years and is still under contract. Madness.
True. All true.
He's got the
Sasha Khan is an idiot, though, Dave. He's an idiot. He's proved that.
He's got the Marvin Lewis key.
Right now, he's got he's Teflon.
If he goes 4 wins, it's showing progress.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
So he could be here another fucking year.
Yeah. Look at Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles 5 wins.
They fucking re-upped him
Yeah. They gave him and the GM an extension.
just because he was competitive.
But you know what? Believe. I mean, because it takes one offseason.
Jets have more upside, but the problem is that hole at quarterback is what
Yeah.
I'm worried
It
about.
But it takes one offseason. I mean, McCagnon, the GM for the Jets, his first year, he
I'm sorry,
stockpiled.
I'm reading Dave's.
What Dave
He
said
actually
that,
liked Mangini, which I'm like, what? You're like the only one. Then again, he is a Browns and Raiders fan, so we have to question that.
He actually likes Mangini. I love it. I gotta hit the cap.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to cut you off, Caleb, but that was funny.
when poor guys in Cleveland.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I think you got to go with a veteran coach at this point. Like, your team's in such disarray. Like, you got to bring some kind of stability, some kind of something that guys could look up to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, if you go a young coach, bring in a Del Rio, so you have that. But then again, will Del Rio be able to listen to that younger coach?
See, that's the thing. As much as I love Del Rio, just because I've seen that guy play, I'm old. I'm that old to have seen his fire, his passion. I've seen him play. Is his message getting old? He's 2 head coaching jobs now. He's been let go from. He's definitely a better D coordinator.
Yeah, but when he got let go here, he
Well,
was
yeah,
not going to get
right.
let go from anybody else. But
it's because of Gruden. He did. It's not because he did bad.
it's like we're going to bring in what's his name, Cowell. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we're gonna bring him in. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna or Parcells. You're gonna fire whoever the fuck you got
Right,
and bring
right.
him in. So I find that kind of hard to be like place that blame on him. They weren't that bad. I mean, they had some
No.
injuries and
Right.
in a strong division.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
Kansas
very
City was
strong.
playing great.
I mean, everybody. San Diego, all 4 teams were fucking. Well, Denver.
Well,
kinda
Denver had the quarterback issues.
sucked
And,
balls.
I felt bad for
the
some.
defense was stout throughout the year.
I
but-
felt kind of bad for Simeon and Paxton Lynch though, because their wide receivers were terrible. They were dropping everything.
They made Chicago and the Giants wide receivers look competitive.
God, they were terrible. I'm watching the game. I'm like, what's he got to do? Go catch it himself? Like, this is terrible. And it looks bad on the quarterback. And they're
Right.
bobbing off their shoulder pads and ends up in the other team's hands. You're like,
Nice hands, feet.
and I still feel like there should be an asterisk or some sort of subcategory when You throw an interception, it bounces off the receiver's hands or bounces off his chest or whatever. You know, he gets hit and it gets intercepted. That's on the receiver.
You're right. The interception should go to the receiver.
There should be, you know, deflection, interception.
Speaking of rule changes.
Oh, I see.
So it's the big fucking huddybub now about what is a catch.
Oh man, please.
So it looks
maybe
like
we'll finally end this
SOS.
garbage.
good. They're
SOS.
gonna review it, and hopefully at the coaches meetings, fucking just take the ground out of it. I mean, you know, back like it used to be. You know, if they fucking catch it and fucking maintain possession. Doesn't matter. Just like the ground can't cause a fumble, the ground can't cause an incomplete pass. It's fucking 2 feet down, and they've got control. Catch done.
That's a good idea, Dr. Faggot.
Yeah.
That even came up in the Super Bowl. I mean, think about it. That rule came up.
Right.
In the Super Bowl.
That's where this
Twice.
Is all, yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
I was pretty drunk for the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
couldn't
be
tell.
honest with you.
I could
was
not
fucking
tell at
pretty
all.
drunk.
Like you
I
could
was
not
pretty
tell in
drunk.
those videos. Not one bit.
No.
You had one eye open. I thought you were fine.
I appreciate that. That's all that matters.
I was wondering why he kept winking at us. It's kind of weird.
As long as I can still just put my hand up, it's good. Caleb, put your hand up.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
I almost said it was. Fuck. No. I'm so fucking sick. Like I went back and I was watching I think it was like NFL Films or something was doing like a Super Bowl thing, and it was like it wasn't just like, oh hey, here's a quick clip. It was actually like talking about the game. It was pretty in depth. I forgot which one it was, but it was so amazing to see like a play. Like you'd see a big play in the game, and it'd be like, wow, man, my perspective of football in 2017, 2018 would be, he just absolutely ass fucked him pass interference.
Right.
But you're watching it and they're like, oh, that'll be a good play. And I'm like, wow, that's like, but it makes you miss that old time of football where it was, and I'm not old. I mean, nothing in my life is really that old. I guess I should get that.
He's talking about '90s folks.
Yeah, exactly. '90s when I made it out of the fucking second grade in 2000. So
he talked about Walter Payton like we talk about Gail Sears.
like
so
big
fucking true.
Like the big time running backs when I grew up was like Sean Alexander. You know, like Eddie George's career was just kind of going on the downfall.
We watched Kurt Warner #1. I've seen Kevin Mack and Kevin Mack Jr. play.
Oh yeah, once you see the juniors play, you saw the old man, then you see the junior.
Yep.
Shit. But that's the thing. It's just so it's terrible to see some of these rule changes and stuff like that, and like it's just taking away from the game. It's taking people out of the game.
Yes,
and
I agree. And
it
slows down the game. Everything's up for question.
Yeah,
you can't celebrate a touchdown because everything's got to go through review.
Sure,
like the Ertz one, completely a touchdown. It wasn't even a question to me. I was like, are we really? I mean, the guy caught the ball, took 3 steps, dove into the end zone.
Yeah, once
boom, you're done.
Yeah, and then fucking Chris Collinsworth, that fucking dickhead, which Tony Romo should have
once
been calling
the
that game
dove started, catch.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah, Collinsworth is a moron.
like Chris Collinsworth is sitting there, bitching, and the fucking line's there. The nose of the ball is over the line. He's like, fumble. It's got to be a fumble. No. Dude, the guy crossed the line. That's an instant, like...
As soon as he crossed
he was saying it was incomplete. Not fumble, incomplete.
Incomplete, he was saying.
Yeah, but he had his... It was.
Right.
I saw 2 hands around a football
going
over the line. Once you cross that line in football, the rule now is once you cross that line, you're fucking done. That's it. The play is donezo. You know, it's trapdoor. Hey, the mouse hits the fucking trap, it's over. Okay? Right. That's the way it is.
And they're comparing.
So what the fuck are we talking about?
Well, they're comparing it to that Pittsburgh Steelers catch,
the Jesse James.
Whereas then he was still in. I don't know what Pittsburgh fans are fucking arguing about. He was still in the motion. There was no football move. He was in the air and then the ball came out.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 totally different instances.
Exactly.
Or the fucking Cowboys are bringing up the fucking catch from a couple years ago again. No football move.
Sure.
All
Cowboys
in the process of the catch.
Cowboys fans act like Dez and drop it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's all they do. And can we? Okay. And I'm gonna just go off for a minute here.
Go ahead, Mike.
Can we stop calling Dez Bryant an elite wide receiver?
I'm good. I'm good with it.
Like, when has he done anything?
I read a report today that he may be a Bear.
No, he better not be.
He's like, I'm like, I don't even want to tell you.
No, we don't even. No, they won't bring his
change the
ugly ass
scenery
in there.
though
because they're looking to bring in veteran wide receivers.
Yeah, but they don't want
and
that cancer.
The Cowboys don't. The Cowboys are here's my thing. Cowboys are either going to drop him because they don't want to eat his cap hit, or they're going to sign him to a long-term deal to make the cap hit lesser. I think they're gonna give him to a longer contract. But I read that
I don't think he's
the
gonna be a
Bears
Bear.
are a possibility for
Yeah,
him.
only because the
And
Bears have no wide receivers.
you
but they're
will
not going
see-
to take him over there.
You will
No way.
see Silbreth on a fucking noose out in front of your fucking business here if that happens.
It's just like back when Terrell Owens. He reminds me of like a worse talented Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Terrell Owens had the talent, but he was a cancer. This dude's a cancer, and he's not half as good.
No, I
like
agree.
he's not even the best wide receiver
I-
on his team.
I don't.
Beasley's kicking his ass.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I
You know what I
agree
mean?
with you. Yeah.
Like, I'm so sick of it, and that's all you hear from these people on ESPN.
But
is
yeah,
the
if you don't-
Cowboys this, Cowboys that, and it's like
But if you don't want him, you know where he's gonna go.
Jets,
Keep trying. There's only one other team that every fucking misfit player goes to and tears it
Raiders.
up. Nope. The fucking New England Patriots.
No, they won't take him. They
Why
will not
wouldn't
take
they?
him.
Why wouldn't they?
He won't survive because of his attitude.
Yeah, but if he
Because
sits
of his
down, if you
attitude.
have one
Moss
conversation
survived
with Bill
there
Belichick,
just fine.
Yeah, but
Saranac-
Moss
I
was-
feel like you have one conversation with Bill Belichick and God just comes upon you.
No, because it didn't work for Chad Johnson, did it?
Well, you know.
No, you're right. Hey, you know what kills me is Chad Johnson. After he
And
fucking
Chad
left,
Johnson was better than Dez.
right. After he left there, he fucking had nothing but bad things to say, and it's like, dude, what did they just do for you?
Yeah, they gave you like $20 million.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
Gaffney says Dez is basically a tight end now, which he probably would be shitty as that because he can't block.
Yeah.
And he brought up when Collinsworth says, I can't wait for this to be overturned. I know, I heard that, and I'm like, you moron, you were a wide receiver.
He's an idiot, man.
You were a
He's
wide
fucking
receiver.
idiot.
Like, all of a
Right.
sudden, because he's a homer. He's in New England, he's blowing
Can we get
crap.
fucking? can
Now
we get-
here's a guy who just had an incomplete pass.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's a fucking. He was at the Eagles parade too. He played for the Eagles.
Cancer is way more talented than Dez.
Wow.
Oh man, I just a small
Big
just a-
Johnny. Oh man.
That's
Wow.
it. That's it.
Coming in from Bangladesh.
Johnny, keep
Actually,
us so, Johnny.
He's in Pittsburgh today.
He would be in fucking Pittsburgh today. He's in fucking Pittsburgh. Give me a fucking break.
But yeah, like I'm so
Get raped in a bathroom by Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh man.
I'm so sick of like everybody just like calling Dez like this elite quarter or wide receiver, and like there's so like he's not even my top 10 wide
Right.
receivers
No, I
in the
agree.
league right now.
Oh yeah, that's
I mean,
that's easy. Yeah,
There's the top 3: Odell,
Julio.
Julio, and AB.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, there's good ones. Larry
Like Doug
Fitzgerald.
Baldwin, Larry Fitzgerald, Amari Cooper. I would put Amari Cooper in front of him.
Yeah, probably he's been more productive. I would put Alshon in front of him.
I was just gonna say Elshon.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I
Yeah,
would definitely put
too.
Alshon in front of him.
Sure. The Michael Thomas from New Orleans. Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry's like where I start to cross the line. Like that's where I'm unsure. Jarvis Landry, who is a free agent, who's one of the
It's
top
been one of
free
rumors
agents.
to come to the Bears as well.
But I mean, that's where I like maybe draw the line. That maybe that's where he starts to kind of. That's where Dez might fit on my list for me. But I know exactly what you're saying, Mike. I wholeheartedly agree with you. But a guy like that for the Cowboys, because he gets that respect that we're talking about. That hey, he's a perennial wide. He's a premium wide receiver. He's great. He's awesome. That allows a guy like Zeke to open up the field for him. Because you're going to move your safety. You're going to slip your safety a little bit. You might slip your linebacker a little bit through the middle or something like that, and it allows him to run. It's a threat. You know what I mean? It drags guys out.
And I get that.
But that doesn't make him great. That doesn't
Right.
make him an elite wide receiver. That means that
The great
somebody,
ones, you could still be open.
That means that every week somebody's still mentioning his name on social media, on a radio show, and they're talking about him. They're pumping him up just a little bit, so other teams are still thinking about him, and that's when he's easily coverage.
I would take Brandon Marshall over him. I would
take Brandon Jacobs over.
I probably would too. But I would take Brandon Marshall over him.
Yeah. Okay.
At least he's got the craftiness of a veteran. He's still got.
Sure.
I mean, he didn't do very well this year. but
he got hurt.
No.
he got hurt. But even before that, he wasn't doing great. But
Brandon Marshall.
I mean, they're both cancers, but
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Brandon Marshall. I mean, you guys know more about Brandon Marshall because you had him when it was a younger time in his career.
He wasn't that bad, but he was a distraction.
But when you got him
that's
and
a
Cutler
younger.
together,
Remember though, that's a younger time in his career. When he was a Jet, he was a leader. When he went to the Giants,
he was a leader with the Bears.
When he was with the Giants and he blew that thing out, when he blew his ACL out or whatever, he was like crying in the locker room during his post game.
Oh, he's
mature.
cried a couple of times.
He took Alshon under his wing, and they went training together.
Right.
And Alshon Jeffrey right now is the receiver he is because of Marshall.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I like Marshall. I think what messes with him is he's trying to do this TV thing too much.
Yeah.
And he should just focus on football.
That's what got him out of Chicago.
Yeah.
He wanted to do a Monday night program, and
he also had. I mean, that's what in New York.
Sunday night.
You know, New York. It was,
isn't it?
Well, if you want to go right now, we'll go.
All right, let's go.
Monday night.
What are you guys doing over there? Are you okay?
Just being stupid.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
Right.
Pow, right in the kitchen. Pow, right in the
That's a
kitchen.
long one.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
Never said you're a woman.
Man. Fuck.
But I'm so sick of like these over exaggerations with these players.
Absolutely.
Like every other day, somebody's like the new hero.
Yeah, next big thing. Yeah.
And it just kills me. And I sit back and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like Marcus Mariota. I'm sorry, he's okay.
Yeah.
But they build this kid as like he's
You wait till going into next season.
He's going to be Tennessee's quarterback for the next 10 fucking years. Get used to it.
Yeah.
You think so?
But wait till next season. When we go into next season, you know how much when you hear your fantasy shows, you're on your ESPNs and your NBC Sports and stuff like that, your fantasy shows. You know who you're going to hear about next year that's going to be like the premium wide receiver and like people are going to like shit their brains over and pick them high in their fantasy drafts, and you don't know what he's going to do. Prove it to me twice. Don't prove it to me once. Prove it to me twice so you can do it. Is Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's great. Adam Thielen had a really good year this year.
He should go for a contract right now.
He had a really good year this year, but prove it to me twice.
Right.
I don't want to just.
But can you do that without a guy like Case Keenum? It seemed like there was a chemistry there.
That's exactly the thing, Mike. I mean, can he do it? Can he do it under a different circumstance? If they have to bring
new coaches.
Yeah. If they have, they're going to bring in somebody new as your OC. Do it again for me. I want to see it again. I hate to say it, but one time Adam Thielen was very good. I'm not taking anything away from him, but let me see it again. I want to see it again out of some of these guys, and that's the problem that you have in the NFL. People just get so excited about certain players, but they haven't done it twice.
Right.
Like for me, Todd Gurley, he had a great first year. He had a great first year, had a terrible second year. Okay. Now we're on to the third. Last year was our third year, and he was phenomenal. Now you still got to prove it to me again, because we're not going to do this every other year thing. I want to see it.
Right. You want to know who you can depend on.
Yeah. I want to depend, because you know what? If I'm sitting there, and not even just from watching the NFL standpoint, I'm talking even just a fantasy standpoint. If you draft Le'Veon Bell, you're going to get the best. He's going to eat, and he does.
Against the Bears.
Yeah, but you have one game, But like I don't like you draft Todd Gurley first overall. A lot of people in their fantasy draft, and you're fucked. You're fucked that year, So it's
all right. So Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, and Marcus Mariota, all second-year QBs.
Correct.
Got to the playoffs.
Whoa, not Mariota.
This is his third year.
Yeah, he came in with Jameis Winston.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
That's right, he did.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, but he was basically playing on a college team his first year. They're that fucking
basically
bad.
fucking was.
Yeah,
You're
they're
right.
that fucking bad.
Like the fucking Browns.
Yeah, but so was Goff. Goff was bagging up Case Keenum for half the year.
But Goff played for Jeff fucking Fisher.
And so did Case Keenum, and we're seeing that now.
And so did Dick Foles.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we're seeing these guys.
Keep the count going,
But, I think Wentz out of that group from last year, I think he has the most chances. I mean, Goff is set up really well.
Oh, yeah. Wentz has had 2 solid years. So.
But I got more faith in Goff than I do Wentz. Wentz than Goff. Like, I like the way Wentz is put together.
Goff is a guy we got to see it again.
See it again.
Let's
right.
see it again.
And Wentz for the most part too, but
sure. And I think it's okay, and it's not unfair for us to ask that question of Goff to see it again, because this is the first year. This is year number 2 with McAvoy. You know, this is the second year under a new head coach, and the first year was pretty good. So it's not unfair to say, hey, we want it again. Like just let's see it again. Then we'll put you in that category where you are in that upper echelon of quarterbacks.
Right.
You know, get there for me, because you know what? I'll be honest with you. You know who my Des Bryant is, Mike. And so you got to give us one now too. You know who my Des Bryant is? It's fucking Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Why is everyone so?
He's still getting. He's gonna get another.
Everyone
chance,
sits at the gate to suck Ryan Tannehill's
But
dick.
he's not like nobody ever thought he was a superstar.
But you know what? You hear that a lot. That he was real. Like the last few years going into the seasons, that he's. And I know he had the unfortunate injury this year, and an injury is tough to hold against a guy. But you know he's got to come back. I mean, they gave him 4 years over 100 or over like 90 million, I think. And, I mean, I'd take that. But you know, it's amazing to me that just the amount of hype he gets, like the amount like Ryan Tannehill's. I've heard people calling Ryan Tannehill an elite quarterback. I've never seen it.
No,
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. But I've heard it. I've heard people say it. I know it's crazy.
Gaffney checked and he said DeAndre Hopkins is right up there in the elite. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That kid. You've seen what he could do with a real quarterback. Throwing him the ball.
And that's the thing too. I mean that's another system thing too. I mean I was happy for DeAndre Hopkins because we saw it with who was the quarterback his rookie year? It was some schmuck that was in Houston. Who cares?
Keenum.
But he did well. But he did well. Then when they went through all those quarterback changes, and he was terrible last year. He had a Todd Gurley year. Todd Gurley's year. He was terrible 2 years ago. This year. He's finally got a quarterback, and he's lighting it up, and fucking good for him.
Yeah,
good for him.
He's great.
You know, I mean, it's awesome. You can't ever really root against it. I mean, you can. I mean, obviously you can, but at the same time, like, that's great to see. That guy's career. Yeah, he had one really good year, but one really good year in sports doesn't last you.
Right.
It doesn't last. So,
Rashawn Salam.
Yeah.
Curtis Enos.
Yeah,
he didn't have a good year, did he?
No, the fucking between the fumbles and Curtis Enos had a decent year.
Yeah, he was garbage. He was garbage.
Is that how you really feel?
Rashawn Salam got fucking Heisman and Rookie of the Year, and fucking he just killed himself.
He's dead to me now.
Yeah.
And everybody else.
Oh jeez.
Man, you're fucked up, dude.
Oh wow.
Well, at least we had that. What was his name? Sam Hurd.
Oh man.
Oh, Sam Hurd.
No more people from Dallas. All right,
guys. That guy's doing like a 20-year bid. Isn't
he worked for the FBI, didn't he?
Everybody we got in from
Isn't
Dallas.
Sam Hurd doing like a 20-year bid?
Yeah,
he
is. He was like a kingpin, drug kingpin.
Drug kingpin. Yeah.
And then we got what's his name there? Ratliff from
Cowboys.
He came in there like threatening to kill people.
Schizophrenic.
Well, you're exactly. But I think about these guys too. Like think about this idiot Reuben Foster, the linebacker for the 49ers, who was their first-round pick last year, who dropped in the draft, dropped pretty heavily in the draft from where he was supposed to go. He has been arrested. I want you guys to just wrap your head around this. He's been arrested twice on felony charges in the last 30 days. Twice.
It's like Ezekiel Elliott. Like
like so. What? How are you? Like, what are you doing?
That's right. I do remember seeing that. So now it's like should he go just past it's what, a 4-game suspension, then a 1-year suspension, then lifetime.
Yeah.
Should he just go right to the 1-year suspension at this point?
Is it? Yeah.
Well, actually, 1 year and 4 games, I guess.
It's just amazing to me. So the thing.
1 year and 6 games.
Yeah. It's amazing to me to think though. These. Like you're talking about a professional athlete. And I understand these guys live their lives just the same as you and I do. All right, that's the one thing. They not the same.
I live on the edge, baby.
Not the same. You're right. Not the same, but at the same time, like they want to have a life too of their own. It's not just the sport that they do. I want to have a life of my own besides what I do with my job.
Right. Yeah.
The same as you. But at the same time, you have to understand that you're going to be in the limelight. You and I, like. If we were to leave the bar later on tonight and get pulled over.
Oh, cool. We're going to the bar.
Yeah, exactly. If you and I were to go to the bar and get pulled over, it's not going to it's going to be shitty for us, but we're not going to be. It's not going to be the worst thing where this guy's making national news that this is happening.
Right.
Just don't do it.
He's going to lose his job. Yeah. Me and you will still have a job.
Yeah.
Well, at least I'll still have a job.
John Lynch went to this kid before the draft and said, "Listen, we're not worried about your character problems. We like you. We want you. We believe in you.
Right.
And to just turn around and slap this guy in the face and get arrested not once but twice in the last 30 days, that's fucked. That's fucked. If you ask me, it's so frustrating to see that in the NFL.
Greg says, "No, John, you live on the tip."
What?
And
Greg, I don't see that. Oh, there it's at the bottom. I gotta.
The tip counts.
Just the tip. Just the tip. But
yeah, we got a lot of movement going to happen this year. I think it's going to be interesting where these guys land, especially these quarterbacks, because they changes the whole.
Shouldn't he be fucking bowling? What the fuck is he doing listening to us?
Hey, right, and Johnny's supposed to be his backup,
and he's in Pittsburgh. Fucking asshole.
Well, I'm glad you're listening.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody is.
Squish me with that whaled rubber there, fruity nuts.
Jesus Christ.
Some of these I forget what they even are, and I have to go back through and.
If I knew he was not going to be, if he was going to be fucking listening, he should be in here sitting drinking beer with us. The fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You fucking
get
dick.
your ass over here. You got 40 minutes. Come on.
Yeah, we're about to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo getting overpaid. One of your former boys.
Oh my God.
How about that payment?
Dude, that is fucking for 6 games. 6 games.
7 games total.
7 games.
7 games
Guy
total.
hasn't lost since he lost to Townsend in the quarterfinals of the FCS Championship Series.
What's the score, fuckers?
Yeah.
Exactly. But he looked pretty fucking good at the end of the season with the 49ers.
It's that thing. It's like, okay, he hasn't lost yet. He only played 7 games. But he hasn't lost. So their team definitely they win 1 game prior to him starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he leads them to 5 and wins. So they,
Our boy CJ Beathard got the ice on that.
It's kind of hard to not pay him, but to pay him the highest ever out of.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind.
So you're telling me that he's up there higher than Brady? He's higher than Aaron Rodgers. He's higher than Matt Ryan. That he's better than Stafford. That you believe in this kid better than Derek Carr, which I think Derek Carr is way better than he is.
Yes.
A lot of those guys that you mentioned on that list. I mean, I know this sounds really stupid and
Drew Brees.
No, you sound really stupid.
I know, and kind of devil's advocate, but a lot of those guys that it's tough to make. Brady, Rodgers, those type of guys, because those guys are guys that'll take less money because they make so much fucking money outside of football.
Well, Brady is well known for taking less money just to build around him.
You know. So, but I mean, it's way too much money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm okay with giving him $20 million a year, Garoppolo.
I'm not.
Give him 5 at $20 million.
Glennon got 15.
Yeah, but
so
5 years,
20,
150.
Yeah,
5 years, $100 million.
Honestly, you're right. 20.
Glennon won more games than
right.
Garoppolo. Glennon won more games. You know what I'm saying? This dude's only won 7. Can I say a name? Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
Like we were handing him the keys.
Homeboy got paid.
Yeah. He got paid, and everyone's like, "Oh, Brock Osweiler." And what'd he play? 6, 7 games. They're talking about replacing Osweiler with when Manning was coming back. They're like, "Oh, Osweiler should start." Are you kidding me? You got Peyton fucking Manning, Hall of Famer. Like you ride and die with that guy.
Yeah.
But then they went out and they paid Brock Osweiler. Well, it's fool's gold, as we see right now.
Right.
I mean, what's he making now? League minimum.
Well, my thing with Garoppolo is the teams don't have enough film on him, and usually it takes a year for teams to adapt.
Call him Scott Mitchell.
So yeah, there you go, and that's a great point because he played great that 1.5 seasons with fucking Detroit, and then he went to Miami, and teams figured him the fuck out.
Went the other way.
Oh, other way.
Sorry, Miami. Then went to Detroit.
That's right. Yeah. He had actually half a year in Miami.
I don't know who
and
Scott
then went
Mitchell
to Detroit.
is.
What's that?
I don't know who Scott Mitchell is.
Well,
it's old people football.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played with Barry Sanders, who
Barry Sanders.
Yeah, and Herman Moore.
Who?
Berryman.
Wayne Fonte.
Perryman.
Que paso?
Wayne Fonts.
See?
The Great Rasputin.
Oh, you guys are just reliving the 80s, huh?
Oh, it's so much better football back then.
Oh, the 80s was fucking awesome,
I
man.
know.
You would see a linebacker,
Fuck
and he
me,
would actually scare you. Nowadays, if he hits me 15 yards.
Yeah.
It's like.
Which, again, I'm so glad that they let that hit on Cooks go.
Oh, yeah.
When he came back and he got leveled, and I'm like.
I was drunk for the game again. I remember to remind you about that.
There was only 7 or 9 flags called that game. The refs let him play. They didn't go out. There was only one pass interference call the whole game. They let them fucking play. Now, even on that Hail Mary at the end, and we've got the still photo from last week, Gronkowski is getting raped, but they let it play. They didn't let that fucking, just...
It's only rape if you say no.
And I'm pretty sure the Philly Eagles yelled surprise before they did it. So right there, it's not rape.
Is he coming back? No,
Gronk?
There's talks about him retiring.
Yeah, I do see it. Who is it? Kyle Long says, he sees him coming back.
I can't imagine him not coming. Yeah. But, with the injuries he's had, he hasn't put together a solid season all year. I mean, production-wise, he does. Yeah. But attendance, he's always hurt.
Yep.
He had another concussion this year. Last year, he missed the Super Bowl. He was hurt. And I guess is Martellus
Bennett's done.
Bennett. He's not on that team anymore?
No.
They did release him? Last I thought they put him on IR.
They put him on IR. But he was only a 1-year contract, so he should be. I think he was retiring anyways. He stated.
I think you got to start looking. And then is Belichick coming back?
Yeah. Belichick's coming back. Brady's coming back.
For how long though? You know what I mean? That's. You
Yeah.
might be seeing that.
You're right. This is the tail end of it. This is the tail end of it. If you get 2 years out of either of those, Brady or Belichick, you will be lucky.
And that's why I think Gronk will be back because they're going to come back for one more year, try to go for another championship.
Yeah. Does Gronk go past this next season? Probably not.
I think it's over, gentlemen, in New England.
Yeah, but they get Edelman back too.
Yeah, they get a lot of pieces back, and if Gronk comes back, obviously
Dez Bryant.
yeah, Brandon Cooks. They do have a lot of very good players, but I think and I'm not saying this based on the Eagles game. I'm saying this based on a lot of things that have come out and stuff like that. I think that this is it's got to speak volumes to you that Josh McDaniels is staying in New England.
Right.
That's got to speak volumes to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That doesn't Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft is a very smart man, all right? And he's made a lot of money in his life making very smart decisions, and he's won a lot of games in the NFL making very smart decisions because he's just as much involved in those player personnel calls as Belichick
right.
is.
And their defense was middle tier, so losing Matt Patricia it might not be such a bad thing.
But
it was what, 15th, 17th, somewhere in there,
very middle of the road.
Sit there,
they climbed up to that point too.
Exactly, they were like 23rd,
Right.
and playing in the playoffs helps.
You're at the end of the year. You're at the end of the year, and you just McDaniels was supposed to take that job the next day, and to think about the fact that he shunned that job and said no, okay? Then went back to New England. All that means is Bobby Kraft picked up the phone and called him and said, "Listen, what do you need? What do I need to do for you?" And it was guarantee me the head coaching position and pay me a fucking dickload of money. Back the truck up. Make me the highest paid coordinator in the NFL. Because that's the only way I'm staying.
But if you're silver, the dickload's not allowed.
Those Bears fans.
It's a small amount. A short stack.
But that's exactly what I'm telling you. That's exactly what happened. And there's something brewing in New England, and I don't know if it's
how small it is when it's in your ass.
If it's, you gotta. You guys are still talking about your asses over there. I'm trying to talk about football. Bill Belichick didn't want to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, Bill Belichick had to trade Jimmy Garoppolo.
I guess if you fist fuck me, we'll be even.
So
that would be a blessing for you.
Can I suck your dick?
Are you just hitting ones over there?
Oh my God, we're fucking out. No, I got all the gay robot skits right in a row, so he's just going down the line.
Gay robot in the house.
Word up.
You're so happy too. You're so happy over there. No one's looked happier than you today.
Yeah, I just feel happy you get to play on my team. It's funny. I was sitting on EC radio, and also I'm like, hit that. Oh wait, he doesn't have that palette.
But sidebar too on the EC radio. Tim Julian interview was great.
That was great.
That was fucking.
I did listen to part of that. All the old mayor fucking stories and.
That
shit.
was fucking great. The story about him. The story about him becoming mayor was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
About Hannah calling him in the middle, well, I've got 2 notes, and I was locked in for that. That was really good. And then
that was a great interview.
Him explaining the blue bags, and you know what was crazy? We're getting a little off football, but when he was explaining the blue bags, I was online too while I was listening to the show. and literally, as I was going through like Facebook or something, the OD article comes up about how they're raising the price of blue bags.
I'm
like, what the fuck? I gotta post this.
I tag Z.
Yeah. Like that was fucking great. But yeah, no, that was a really good interview.
I had to tell the story about when the day after Julian got named. Well, not elected, but
named. You're right.
Mayor. I interviewed him when I was working on the Keeler show. I went in there, and he owns a laundromat. And while I was in there, we had the girl take all my clothes. I took all my clothes off and had her wash my clothes. So I was wearing nothing but a towel. And now here comes the new mayor, Tim Julian, comes in, and Bill's like, interview him. I'm like, sitting here in nothing but a towel. You want me to interview the new mayor? So I'm sitting there with a phone.
Why the fuck were you in? What went on at this laundromat? Was it like a bodega?
No.
Like
It was
everything all in
one of those
like,
Russian laundromats.
It was a Keeler show skit.
Tim Julian, if you're out there, what kind of laundromats are you running, buddy? Like
very good ones.
Yeah, you damn right. Happy endings.
So I'm sitting
$1 per pound is the new benchmark, huh? You get $20.
First interview I ever had to do, I was naked in a towel interviewing the new mayor.
Wow.
So that was a little weird.
Come on.
Apache penis, Chuck.
This is when you're like, don't get a boner. Don't get a boner.
Yeah,
but he's a very good looking guy. So it's really
a fucking guy. Should be pretty easy.
You're easy.
Yeah, what were you worried about the girl that was washing your clothes behind the bar?
Yeah.
Don't look at her. Don't look at her. Oh my God. Fuck. No, that was a really good one. But yeah.
Hot lunch.
But that was a great interview. That was fun. That was done on I think it was Monday we did that. So if you want, go check it out, EC Radio, and you can check out our podcast too. We got all our old podcasts.
Check out YouTube. Everything is up on our YouTube channel.
And we're gonna be on the new website, disruptionnetwork.net. We are gonna be we're gonna do a archive section. So like all our shows from last year will be off into one section.
Awesome.
It's not up yet, but we will be getting it up. So like if you want to catch old shows, and all our new stuff will be on there, our webcast and the podcast. So if you want to listen through like the
Sounds
radio
good
style.
to me, man. Big things happening around here. We got this nice new studio.
Oh,
nice new.
We're
internet setup.
working on an app.
We are.
Yeah,
The app is in development right now.
Well, I just got hit up about that a couple of days ago. Somebody's like, the app's not working. I go, yeah, it's not Disruption Network anymore.
The old Disruption Network, we asked people to delete that. It is no longer Disruption Network.
Yeah, I know. I
any
saw
property.
it changed on my phone.
It's Announcer or something like that. Announcer?
Some cucky shit.
So we just asked people to delete it. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
We will be coming out with a new app very, very soon. So it is in the works. But we want to get that out there to let people know, because I've been hearing a lot from people as well. They're like, oh, what the Disruption gone? No, we are not gone.
No, it's going nowhere, baby.
When people left, they took the app with them, and they flipped it over to something else. And I'm not really sure what they're doing with it, but please delete it because it has nothing to do with Disruption.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The D will be back, and we're always on Facebook, so that's the one good thing. So we'll make it very known when our things are going to be happening.
So this past weekend, I this is NFL related.
Sure,
but
we'll go back to the NFL. We'll start talking about
we're
football.
Talking about football.
Yeah. I watched the scariest movie I've ever fucking seen this weekend.
Okay.
Concussion with Will Smith.
Oh man, I heard it's good though.
Finally, fucking broke down to watch. I still haven't seen Brian's Song. when it comes to serious movies about the NFL, I stay away from. I'm a Bears fan. I own the movie. It's still in its plastic wrap. I haven't watched Brian's Song yet because I refuse to cry during a fucking NFL movie.
Yeah, no, you can't.
But the wife is a big Will Smith fan.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Right. So, being a former football player, I've always been sketchy of this movie. Should I watch it? Whatnot? So we finally watched it, and Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's in this?
Every time.
He made a cameo.
Oh, he made a cameo?
Yeah.
He made a comeback?
JC, number 40, he's in. Well, and it's got the whole, being a Bears fan, I knew this right when they got to it. I'm like, that's Dave Duerson. And he shot himself in the fucking chest.
Yeah.
So he could preserve his brain so they could test it for CTE. And that's all in there. And I was just talking with my wife about it just before the movie. And I'm like, I didn't know this was fucking in there when I was telling you. It's so fucking scary to see the players. Mike Webster just lost his mind in this fucking thing. It's fucking scary as shit. And I come in today forgetting the fucking name of the fucking audio program we use. And I'm just like, this happens all the time.
Yeah, but it happens to me too. But I think that's more herbally induced.
I'm hoping it's beer related, but it happens.
It's
a
crazy,
lot.
man. It's crazy to think about it. And I think that's what we've. I mean, as much as we complain about it,
I'm glad there's rules there for these players now. I mean, because I thought about playing for the Utica Yard Dogs this year, and after watching that, I have no fucking interest anymore.
Thanks.
It scared the. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy versus Jason, all that fucking shit was child's play.
Child's play.
Child's play.
No,
was fucking just shit. Wasn't scary at all compared to this movie in a real life facet.
Yeah.
Well, those are the scariest. So the ones that can really happen, and they do really happen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But now, where do we go from this? Do we just not play football? Do we not play hockey?
Sure.
NASCAR.
Let's hope technology catches up at some point.
But we've got. I mean, Sil just made the perfect point, though. He just said exactly what is said and what needs to be said by every athlete out there. He said, "I was thinking about playing, but I'm not going to now." If you don't want to do it, no one's forcing you to do it. I mean, think about the guys from the middle linebacker from San Francisco, who was supposed to be supposed to be a prodigy. No, not Patrick Willis. There was a white kid out there last year. He retired 2 years ago after playing 2 years. He was a rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year 1 year. And then
what was
and then retired from football because he literally said he made the exact same points you did. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Right.
It's his choice. It's your choice
to go from a kid to an NFL player. That's a lot of fucking football. That's a lot of hits. And I hate because I love football.
Yeah.
To see the deterioration of the game because of this, it would kill me.
Yeah.
But it's on the table right now in New York, and it just passed in Maryland. Anybody under the age of 14 playing tackle football, their parents are going to go to fucking parent services. They're going to get arrested.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
Yeah, seriously, no more.
That's pretty crazy.
In Maryland, no more tackle football for kids under 14.
Yeah,
and it's on the table in New York.
And you're absolutely
that's when you're indestructible,
right? I know, right?
And still to kind of, I guess, elaborate on that point too. You got a blue bag over there, Z.
Oh, we got to get the can.
There we go. Z with the blue bag. Live footage.
Everybody, that's Z with a blue bag. Get it in here. That's Z with a blue bag. Here, Z with a blue bag.
What you gotta do is here. Let me give you the demonstration. You gotta go slow. Like that. You see? Go slow.
Yeah.
That's it. Z with a blue bag there.
Garbage bags. Garbage bags.
Hot lunch.
Watch him tie it all the way. Oh.
Garbage bags.
This message is brought to you by Utica Blue Bags.
If anyone out there ever sees Z out, just ask him about a blue bag, or just bring him one.
Yeah,
bring Z a blue bag. All right. If you're down here by the studio at any time, just stop by with a blue bag. Just drop a blue bag off. Just show him how to use it. Maybe he doesn't know how to use it. Maybe that's our problem.
If you see him down at Griffin's working, bring him blue bags.
Bring him a blue bag. He doesn't want tips. He wants blue bags.
He's the blue bag guy.
Even Tim Julian knows him as the blue bag guy. That was a great interview the other day.
That fucking rant was hilarious.
That was a fucking great interview.
One video, and all of a sudden, that's what happened.
That thing went absolutely viral.
How come it couldn't be a sex video?
Don't worry, when the Solo Cup butt clap thing works,
Fucking butt clap. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. But with what I was saying about baseball, or comparing baseball and football, I mean, no, this is where I'm going with it. But when I was playing baseball, exactly what you said. So
we'll just whack each other off and I'll bail.
It's not what I thought that was going to be.
And that defines baseball.
That's baseball. To think back to what you were saying, how many games of football you played, how many times you've been out there. For me,
practice.
For
week
me,
in and week out.
Yeah. How much for me it was my baseball career ended literally because I was overused. I tore my labrum, and it was a product of what a concussion would be to a football player.
Doesn't labrum sound like something near the vulva? I mean.
Yeah, but see, like
it's overuse, and it's not playing.
But
too
that's
much,
correctable.
But that's just the way it goes.
But that's correctable.
Exactly, you're exactly right.
But when you're talking about your mind, you're talking about your brain.
You'll never be the same.
It leads you down way different paths. I mean, like.
But when you do that, and that's all you've known, and that's what you want to do, and exactly to the point he said, "Hey, you know what? It's not going to work for me anymore."
Jim McMahon had a lot of issues. Junior Seau. I mean,
yeah, no, that came up.
We see a lot of these guys, taking a lot of mental issues, and I just feel like maybe it's better equipment, maybe it's better teaching how to tackle. You can't take the aggressiveness out of the game because then
then
it's
a different
you
game.
got a product that nobody
it's not
likes.
Football, then.
Right.
It's
I mean, the stats, at the end of the movie, they show you everything, and they follow up on the stories, and they were saying 28% of the guys of NFL players, are what they're stating now as affected with CTE.
Yeah.
So that's you take your chances, 1 out of 3.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, think about this too. When somebody says the name Junior Seau, you don't think about how nasty that guy was as a linebacker.
I do.
My generation doesn't. We
Because
don't.
you didn't get to see him.
You're exactly right.
You didn't get to see him.
What do I know Junior Seau by? I know Junior Seau is the guy who shot himself so that he could give his brain for research for CTE. That's amazing to me. You know what I mean? My mind is clouded. And I saw Junior Seau play. He was around when I was watching football. And I'm not taking anything away from him. But a lot of people nowadays, and friends that I have, if I were to, my average football friends, that aren't fanatics, if I were to say that to them, that's what they think about. And that's amazing to think that we've gotten to that point in a sport.
Kurt Cobain.
What?
Guitar.
See, I think blew his brains out.
Yeah,
I think overrated.
But that's the thing. When Junior Seau's name comes up, it's never like when my friends and I are talking, it's never, hey, wow, like he was a nasty middle linebacker, like he was great with the Chargers, and that was he was unbelievable. It's no, like he literally killed himself so that they could have something to look at and study this disease with, and that's amazing to me. Like that's mind.
Well, wasn't that was Duerson, right?
Dave Duerson shot himself in the chest.
Yeah. Seau, that was the reason he shot himself.
I think he shot himself in the head.
But he didn't. He killed himself for the reason so that they could research his brain.
Oh, now you guys still looking things
up.
Yeah. The smart guy over here, the internet geek. But I mean, it's amazing to think about that, and I mean, it sucks that you have to make that statement you just made. I don't want to play a sport anymore that I love because I saw this and I see what's happening. Yeah. It's amazing. It sucks. It's terrible.
And then what are you gonna do with boxing? What are you gonna do?
Sure.
With
yeah,
MMA?
you're right.
Sure.
Especially boxing.
Yeah.
And MMA.
Yeah.
And
he did shoot himself in the chest. I thought it was in the head. My bad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, I mean, but that's wild for me to think about. I mean, the fact that he would do that so that they could do this research.
The reason I'm scared is because, I forget simple fucking names. I forget a piece of software I use a few times a week.
Yeah, but you're old as fuck.
Shut the fuck off.
No, but that's true. I mean,
you're old as fuck.
You're old as fuck off?
And, my temper isn't always the best, as you've seen. And you've seen how one-tracked I fucking can be when I'm
but
a
you've
coach.
always been that way.
Yeah, I know.
You're that type
You're
of
right.
person. I see it with Z. He's that type of person, too. Like, there's
Right.
times I'm talking and nobody's home. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're there, but nobody's.
But it scared me enough to – I literally went from I've been working out these past few months to play football.
Get back, yeah.
And now, there's no question. Now I'm just working out to fucking run in the mud run and
yeah. Sure. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, a lot of like
April 14th mud run, everybody.
But then again, you are much older now. You know what I mean? You've had the hits into your head over the years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're how old? Like 52?
43.
Oh,
he did that on purpose.
Sorry,
just so I would say it.
When you take your hat off, you see the solar panel, but
I'm mostly bald. God damn it!
But I've taken some pretty serious shots to the head. If that probably explains a whole lot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. Like I wouldn't want to get out there and hit again because I've been hit quite a few times. Like I want to keep my dome as relatively together as it is.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But, that's because I'm 41 years old.
Right.
When I was 20, 22, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right. I started playing when I was 26, so I played 26 to 31.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I mean, that's that and to exactly your point. I'm 26. For me at my stage of my life, if I had football, on-field football experience and stuff like that, I would give it thought.
Yeah, but you couldn't play football.
No, you're right. I played, dude.
I'm a baseball player.
Holds it. I
You'd
told
be a
you about my
kicker.
football experience. Yeah, of course I would, dude. Of course I would. It's the greatest job in history. Or if
Not
they
a
need
punter.
They
just
need
a
a
kicker.
backup quarterback. If they need a backup quarterback,
I fucked up. I should have been a long snapper. You know what I mean? Like, I could have been a long snapper. I could snap the ball.
My buddy Ben, my roommate Ben, was a disgusting long snapper. Right, goes to college. He lost all the weight going
I'm
to
actually
college.
really good at long snapping too.
He goes to college, and they're like, all right, we need the long snapper the guy who was long snapping our freshman year at college was just shit. And they go to him, and they're like, do you have any long snapping experience? And he could dial it up. Like his long snap, like I could, like I would sit out there and snap with him when we were in high school and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, this is like you're fucking really good at this. I was like, why don't you do it? He's like, oh, I'm too scared. I'm like, fuck you.
I used to be such a good long snapper. I could hit a beer can on the edge of a pool from 20 yards away.
Really?
Easily.
Fucking A.
Fucking easily.
With a basketball.
with a BB gun, he turned around and shot at it.
No, sorry. Yeah, 20 yards. Yeah, it was 20 yards away.
No, what would happen is like he'd miss and his wife would go and knock it over.
Good job,
yeah. I turn around.
Like, one of his kids would be in the pool like underwater, and they just like slowly pull it off.
I'd
like,
slowly turn. I'd get up, turn around, and it'd be gone. All right. You know?
Either that or
John.
Either that or Greg stealing the beer.
Way to go!
I'll tell you what, Greg can't catch.
Neither can Tom Brady. So.
Oh shit!
Hey.
Tom Brady's a GOAT, though, man. He's fucking good. Fuck.
Did you guys see that meme about so Tom Brady's the GOAT, but Jim Kelly won 4 Super Bowls? I've got 4 T-shirts that say that exact thing, and it's the kid from Somalia or whatever.
Yeah. Some third world country.
Yeah, it's
I feel like,
really fucked up.
I feel like Gaffney has those shirts too.
Fuck. You guys are fucked.
Yeah, we are.
Gaffney probably does have those shirts. He probably would, like, track them down. He goes, I'll find these things.
Speaking of which, they are Gaffney and JP Schofield are looking to start a baseball show that are going to be started on Disruption Networks.
Yep.
We're kind of a little pumped for those guys.
I might have to bring that. I might have to come around for those every once in a while.
Well, you know anything about baseball?
Well, they pay me a little bit to know something about it.
I hope you know more than football.
So do I. So do I.
He came in fucking 3rd place.
And I led for like most of the year too. That was the pathetic part. One too many fucking overzealous Jets fucking.
Dude,
the Jets are gonna win.
You fucking threw it on. It was like you were throwing it on purpose.
Man, I'll never bet against my team. That's one thing I'll never do.
You should.
Yes.
I highly advise it.
I know, right? I should go back and look at how many times the Jets,
you'll win more than you won.
How many times the Jets covered and like the over under and shit this year. I should go back and like look at those and see how many times I fucked myself betting on them.
I'll give you credit though. Like I thought the Jets were gonna just be totally horrible.
Dude, they were supposed to be. They were supposed to be terrible. They were supposed to be awful, man.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, free agency is going to be a huge point for them. Free agency, I mean, for both of our teams, I really think this year free agency is gonna really be huge for them. I think McCagnon's going to go out and he's got to go out and make moves this offseason.
I'm still looking forward to it. Bears are going to rock it. I fucking can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, did you see they hired a new strength and conditioning coach?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, Mike.
Yeah, not the guy from Miami. But no, I guess this guy when he was, I forgot what college team he was from. Like this guy's just got like tons of success. So
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, 22 players on injured reserve in 2016.
Yeah,
22 players on injured reserve.
And what, 17 this past year?
Yeah, 16 this past year. So 16. You're telling me out of 22 starters and whatever, like those guys couldn't help us win a few games?
Yeah.
Since we were very close on a lot of our
There's a problem
losses.
with stretching. I'm serious. I'm a big fucking firm believer of proper stretching and weightlifting and if these guys are fucking for the Eagles to only have 5 and got
to be doing something right.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Got to be doing something right.
Weird, you only have 5 guys on IR and yet you're in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got 22 guys on IR and you're not.
You're not even fucking close.
And like we've lost, I mean, all our wide receivers, all our starting linebackers were on IR. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them. All the way down. And that just can't – you can't win games that way.
No, not at all. Not at all. You can't – I mean, you couldn't – you
Oh, shit. Becky's watching. Is Greg on his way in?
Uh-oh.
it's amazing. It's amazing to think. I mean, it's amazing to think, and that's the development of a team. Is Carson Wentz went down for the rest of the season, and Nick Foles looked like he couldn't find his way out of a fucking paper bag the last few weeks of the season, and then he goes in the playoffs and does that, and that's why. Wait
a minute. Nick Foles. He was fine.
Oh, he was terrible.
No, you don't even count the Dallas game. He played a little bit, and he didn't lose that game for him.
He was very mediocre.
Word.
Okay, very mediocre. I'll give him that. Wasn't terrible. Very mediocre. Okay.
He sufficed.
He battled. All right. All right. He battled. Okay, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it takes. That's why in football and in any sport, it's top to bottom. It starts from your owner down.
Really a bottom.
Your owner. Well, yeah,
you're definitely.
He's
a
the
bottom.
water boy. It starts from your owner down to your scouts, to your GM, to your vice presidents of operations and stuff like that, and your coaching staff, and your conditioning staff. So that's what it has to be, the full package. It can't be. Oh well, we've got a really we hired this really good head coach named Hugh Jackson. No, it's got to be from the top down. It's got to be everybody. It's got to be everybody that gets on board and believes in what you're doing and how you're doing it. And that's how you win. It's not having three guys that say, "Oh well, I'm Sasha Khan and I believe that this is going to be the way." No, it's listen.
Shaka Khan.
Coochie. Oh, it's
Who the fuck is Sasha Khan?
It's Taro.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
No, Shaka Khan. Oh my God, he doesn't know. Oh man, we're so old.
Yeah, you guys are you're fucking actually you're 15 years older than me. Right? Now that we're putting it all,
and that's why it works.
And you're 17 years actually, Sil. All right, fuck you.
Shut the fuck up.
No, but I mean, it starts from top to bottom, and that's why I think we're getting into an exciting time. This is when teams are built in free agency and in the draft. I'm excited for this time of year, and
this draft is going to be interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of players out there that like pieces that can be put into play.
Sure,
like the Kirk Cousins, the
There's so many interesting storylines too,
Bridgewater,
with the draft picks and stuff. You know, and players like you're talking about. I can't remember a time where we're going into an offseason where you've got so many starting quarterback caliber guys that are free agents.
Yeah. Oh,
we're not talking about backups now. We're not talking about Josh McCown's. We're talking about starting quarterback caliber players.
We've got it's the 15th. We've got till the 14th. So less than 28 days to fucking go to.
And that's what I mean. Like,
I can't wait to see where this pans out.
Arizona and the Browns, you're better off going with one of these starter quarterbacks.
Arizona, the Bills, Minnesota, Cleveland. What the fuck do these teams do? I mean, that's 4 teams without even fucking thinking. And I guarantee you, I didn't think.
Yeah. What do you do? And now here's the other thing too. Still, you also can on that list you weren't thinking about. You can also put that. You can also put teams like Kansas City in.
Yeah.
Do we know if Pat Mahomes is going to be the answer?
And who's his backup too?
They're going
That's
Mahomes.
what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is going to be under center, but.
What if he gets hurt?
We saw Pat Mahomes play one game.
Right.
And Pat Mahomes is not your prototypical quarterback. He's a little bit of a shorter guy. All right. He's got a pretty good arm, but you don't know what he's going to be. So what you're taking a risk. Do as much as I do, does Jacksonville still believe in Blake Bortles? Is there an opening there?
Yeah, there you go.
Is there
Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona. I mean, you've got a core of about 10 to 12 teams that have.
Do you think Blake's going to leave though?
No, he has to stay.
But they're going to pay him out of like $19
million. They picked up
million.
that option. Yeah, they picked up the option.
Or to use him as trade bait.
I don't think he's got
at
any
this
value.
point, you got to keep him. At this point, you have to keep him.
I don't think he's got any value. But you've got. I mean, you're talking about only in the NFL right now about 10 to 12 teams that are solidified at just that one position at quarterback. Think about all the other dominoes that are going to fall: running backs, wide receivers, defensive players, offensive linemen.
For the holes that there are in quarterback, there's one or two teams that are gonna not have anybody to fill that. So we're gonna Peterman, Buffalo. You may want to get used to that.
Yeah. So is this make it worse for a guy like Kaepernick trying to get back into the league?
I don't know. I don't
What
know.
about
I mean, I
Johnny Manziel is trying to get
yeah,
back
Johnny
in?
Manziel, who's going to play in Austin in the showcase
This
league.
might be their. I mean, then again, it is such a strong rookie quarterback class, draft class.
Yeah.
That those two may get left in the dust.
I think we're going to see a lot of surprises too. I think we're going to see. I mean, you have to remember too. We're looking at it at a, you know, I would even say I wouldn't even put New England in that 10 to 12 range of quarterbacks who are solidified, because you don't know what Tom Brady's going to do. Yes, he wants to play longer. I understand that.
Lamar Jackson,
but
could go
you
there.
got to start to think about. You got to start to think about the next plan.
And what if he goes down?
Green Bay. Who's the quarterback in Green Bay? It's
Aaron
Aaron Rodgers, and he's fucking really fucking good.
You
You
never
guys
met him?
know that. You guys know that. But where are we going in a few years?
You know what's funny is
Guys get old.
No.
I actually
I'm
You age
still
every day.
rocking.
You age every day, Sil. You age every day.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that Brent Huntley, he didn't do terrible. I mean, he wasn't.
He's not the answer though. He's
No.
not the heir apparent.
No.
No, he's not. No.
You know, but you play another couple years under Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
You never know where his development's going to
Sure,
go. But you can always. They got a little time. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's got at least 2-3 more years.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you got a little time.
Oh, easily.
Brett
you-
Favre had 2 or 3 more years too when
but you
Aaron
gotta-
Rodgers was drafted.
Right. You still got to get more talent in there. I do agree. You got to get somebody else to back him up. I hope they don't. Like, I hope they go through a skid.
This is gonna be
yeah.
You know, because going from Brett Favre, who played like 900 years, to never missed a friggin' game, to Aaron Rodgers, who just kicks our dick in every month, every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really need a shitty quarterback anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it.
But
we'll try to work on that.
But I do like the nucleus of coaches that the Bears have put together.
Yeah,
I
I like that staff. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, you're
I'm sure you like the staff anywhere.
oh man, wow.
Giggity.
Do you like sit around and just try to think of dirty fucking jokes? Like, oh
it
man.
just comes naturally.
Yeah, right.
I hope he says staff this week.
See,
hope he says staff this week.
That's where being as old as I am plays.
That gets you going.
Yeah.
That like fires you up. You're like, yeah, this is a good time.
We're all dirty old men.
Right.
No.
But I like what they put together. I love the they kept the defensive coordinator. I like that they they went out and fired the strength and conditioning coach and brought in somebody with a proven record.
Sure.
That's huge when you can keep your players on the field.
That's the goal. That's generally the goal.
I'm really excited to see where they go with this. Minnesota kind of like they got depleted on some of their coaching staff.
Yeah.
They're going through some changes, so who knows where they're going to be at.
And I'll tell you, Minnesota.
DeFilippo.
They're
did I just add an extra syllable in there?
DeFilippo.
DeFilippo, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, think about this though. If Minnesota doesn't get that quarterback decision right, what do you do?
Well,
What do
you
you
ride
do?
with Delvin Cook. This is what you do.
Well, yeah.
You
but
run that
Delvin
fucking ball.
Cook-
They got a decent O-line.
But what did we just talk about earlier? Delvin Cook blew his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he's coming back as. And Mike, it's
He's still got
it's-
DeMarco
Not
Murray.
everybody's
Or-
an AP.
It's what you and I said. It's what you and I said earlier too. What we were talking about earlier is Case Keenum. This is time numero uno that you've done it. This was a 10-game sample size or a 13-game sample size where we've seen you do it.
And that's why I say
I want to see it
let
again.
him prove it.
I want to see it again. All right, I need to see it again before I believe in you, because if they say, I mean, if you're Minnesota and you say, okay, Teddy, you're a free agent, you're gone. He's gone. Sam Bradford, you're a free agent, you're gone. We're committing to Case Keenum. Man, if that doesn't work out, you're in the bag for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's the whole year.
You're fucked for a long time.
16 games of
Your defense is not
two
going to make
fingers
up
in
for
your
it.
butt. Yeah.
Your defense is not going to make up for it. But you also have to remember still too, with how, I mean, I just have to think, and I'm not positive on it. It's way too far to look ahead of. But we're talking about, okay, what's going to be out there for you next year if Case Keenum does suck? You don't know. That's a market that you don't know about. You don't know who might be the free agents,
and that's
who's
why
not going to sign a long-term deal. So you got to be sure.
And that's why I'm saying you keep Bridgewater as a backup.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying there, Mike, and I agree
You
with
keep
that.
them both.
But that's a very shitty decision to make. I mean, in Minnesota, who's had such a good year, that's such a tough decision to make. To think about that and to be like, fuck, we got to decide who's our quarterback of the future. And this guy just put up our quarterback of the future. Before that was Teddy Bridgewater,
who hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
Who hasn't played in 2 years. But you give him a chance to get better, get acclimated to the team, see where he develops at. And
that's going to be a huge decision, man. That's one I'm really looking forward for this offseason.
Unless you cut ties with Bridgewater, and then just bring in another vet.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Somebody work under Case Keenum, but you keep Case. You do. I'm sorry, you keep the guy that's produced.
I think you have to. I don't think you cannot.
I mean, the other two guys. I mean, Bradford, he had okay moments.
Bradford's gone.
He never showed me anything.
I look at this. I look at the Minnesota quarterback situation as a 2-horse race between Bridgewater and Keenum. Bradford doesn't exist.
But what a great deal that and I called this too. I on Facebook when Teddy Bridgewater went down. I said, "Watch, they're going to trade for
Sam Bradford."
Yeah. And what they did, what Peterson did at that time, he made all those quarterbacks take first team reps, and everyone thought he was crazy. Why are you making all these guys take first team reps? And now you see it.
Right.
And it seems like that's the way he coaches is like everybody gets a chance because then when you get a backup come in, they got first team reps.
Yep.
I'll tell you something. The thing that speaks volumes with the Sam Bradford thing to me in the situation in Minnesota was, I think it was going to the NFC Championship game when they played the Eagles. Not only did they activate Sam Bradford off the IR before that game, they also activated another quarterback, a fourth quarterback. They actually had three quarterbacks and one quarterback that was on what's called the active roster, but he didn't dress for the game, which is, dude, that's amazing. But think about that.
Such a dumb thing.
Does that not speak volumes to what you think about Teddy Bridgewater? That you're bringing Sam Bradford off of the IR so what are you going to do if Case Keenum goes down in the NFC Championship game? You're going to sit there because you've got both guys dressed. And you got to sit there and look at Pat Shurmur, your offensive coordinator, and be like, what do you want to do? Does that not speak volumes about Teddy Bridgewater? You don't believe in him. They don't believe in him. Right. He's gone. He's gone out of Minnesota.
Well, and you don't know because the guy's been out for 2 years. So you don't know how he's going to be in real game action.
Right.
Yeah. They don't believe in him.
And that's what I'm saying. Like besides just the physical aspect of it, there's the mental aspect of it. Like I've had an ACL injury. I've had a back injury. I've had several injuries. So you know what I mean? Like when you get hit, that's in your head. Yeah. Like you're like, oh, I better land this way so I don't twist my knee. I better not cut too fast because I don't want to
I'm in your head, bro.
Right. Yeah. I better watch my back because I'm going to get hurt. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking about these things.
Yeah.
Whereas before you never had to think about. You're thinking about who you're going to throw to. You're thinking about putting that move on the guy.
Sure.
So that little bit instance of maybe I should round this off, or maybe you lose that
drive.
Yeah. The thing that got you to where you were.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
and that's the thing.
That's what's always worried about it.
You may be able to make that cut, but in your head you're afraid that if you do, you could re-injure yourself. And that's your livelihood.
Let's do this though. This is what I'm thinking. So for next week's show, let's do some free agent predictions. Let's kind of look at the top 20 guys and stuff like that, and we'll talk about them. We'll
all right, yeah, for next week.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. All right, so a little homework assignment.
We'll go home. We'll look at our top 20. We'll look at the.
You check out some guys.
Well, that's the other tab.
Grown man naked.
That's the other tab on the top of my
computer. They better fucking be topless.
It's my other tab. All right, that's the third tab.
I'm here for the gangbang.
So let's do that. Let's do that for next week. We'll talk free agency. Let's have let's do some predictions, and we'll do that for next week.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, maybe we'll have a guest.
Yeah. Ooh. Maybe Dave.
Feel better, Dave.
Yeah, Dave. I think Dave would like to do a little free agent destination stuff. So I'm good with it. But
all right, guys, I got to go to work. So working at the bar tonight.
Work.
And but thanks for tuning into the D-Line. We still do got T-shirts available. I did set up a Disruption Network Heart Walk team.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. I signed up.
So yes, and anybody who wants signs up and wants to walk with us, joins the team, and you want a team T-shirt, they're $10. Normally $15. I'm taking $5 off. It's basically at cost. Mm-hmm. So we just want to get the T-shirts out there so we have people representing for Disruption Network.
And we are pro beer, so you will be
bring
drinking.
the beer.
Beer didn't do anything to your heart, damn it.
I love beer, so my heart loves beer.
You're damn right, Mike.
But it's a great event. We do it every year. We usually start over at Sill's house for breakfast in the morning, and then we walk over to the school. He lives about a half mile to the school. We do the
quarter mile.
Quarter mile.
Oh,
I've been adding more.
Yeah.
But
can you get it right?
But
it's a half mile if you walk up and back.
It's a great time, man. Like so many people I haven't seen in all year. They've been locked up in their house. Now
sure.
Cabin Fever. We get out there, we have a few beers.
Yeah, have a few beers, and we head back to the gym at the end, and we drink more of their beer. So, it's
then
great.
we go back to Sills and drink even more beer.
Yeah.
Hey, wow, sounds like an okay time.
Yeah, it's a great time, man. And like all along, I mean, there's 20,000 people participating, and all along the route, there's bands playing, and there's radio stations and TV stations.
It's a good cause. I mean, besides, I would say that event for Utica is probably the second biggest besides the Boilermaker.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's huge.
Oh yeah,
it's huge
it is.
around here,
It's
man. I mean,
there's fucking over 10,000 people at this fucking thing. I mean,
get involved.
It's awesome.
They raise over millions of dollars, like for heart disease and research and whatnot, and it's great. It's a great thing to be a part of. I've known a lot of people that pass from this disease.
And that's the thing. You go from place to place, and you hear about. I spend a lot of time down at Dick Smith's and Phelps, the old
Team
tattoo
Phelps,
artist.
yep.
Team Phelps. I mean, he's there. There's another
Yep.
team that is constantly out there and has a huge contingency.
They got a
you just see
great support group. There's Team Hawk, Team O'Neill. There's a lot of them.
You see the different ones in how they go from the next person on to the next person and the support and stuff like that. So get involved anyway.
Absolutely. And it's fun, man. So we've been doing it. We did it in honor of a friend that passed, and then because
my
of
dad's
drama,
had a couple heart surgeries, so yeah, I'm full support behind it.
We've been doing it straight for what 8-9 years now.
My buddy
Tim Brower, the pit bull. That's why I still see a spot in my eye.
Everybody
to this
knows.
day.
Everybody knows.
He hit me good, man. We were in practice. He was a little shorter than I, and we went head to head.
Choked me up a little bit there. I couldn't even get his fucking name out.
Yeah, I still see a spot in my eye. And we did that benefit game for him, and we kicked your ass. Me and Johnny.
Hey, I held my own. I don't give a fuck.
Johnny from Singapore.
You held every play.
Johnny from Singapore.
Johnny from Singapore.
Well, fuck, gentlemen. Everybody get out there, get some T-shirts, get on the
Heart Run and Walk.
Yeah,
and we'll have some free agent
We'll post a link on our D-Line site just so you guys can get in there.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hey, it's Adeline Van Dyke from Coldwell Banker Faith Properties in Utica. I always get asked, why do I love real estate? It's very simple. I love my clients. Right on their mortgage, making sure they're getting the best price on their house. Just everything involved in the sale is vital. My absolute favorite part of real estate is when a buyer walks into the house they're going to buy. I can feel it before they even know they're loving the house. It's just that obvious. So I'd love to experience that feeling with you. So give me a call. Adeline Van Dyke, Coldwell Banker Faith Properties.